And we are live. We got Brian back in the house. We have Amy Lacy with us. It wouldn't
What's up,
be
guys?
fun unless we brought Brian's theme song out, though.
Oh, you feeling that?
If you can see us, if you can hear us, comment your branch of service, the years that you served below. Happy New Year. We haven't seen a lot of y'all in a long time. Just wanted to come out and hang out with y'all and have a good time and share some information and talk. So let us know where you're from. Comment below. We see a few folks kind of showing up. So glad that you all are here. Bring it down here a little bit, but definitely gonna keep going. So we got Amy Lacy with us, veteran coach with Team Champions, and we have Brian Lofton as well, one of our veteran coaches. And overall, just really kind of having a good conversation. What's up, fellas and
What's
ladies?
up? What's up, DP?
You
Amy?
got to switch it up now that you have a female on here.
I have to. I gotta set my game up playing games. This is unsat. So tell us. So for those that may have not met us before, we'll let everybody kind of go around, introduce themselves a little bit, and say a little hello. We have some comments coming in. So as the comments come in, definitely go ahead and click in the comment section. It'll give you the option to say where you're from, to kind of have your name come up. So let's see, some folks popping in here. We got Manuel from Ohio, U.S. Army retired. What's going on? We're gonna put those comments right there. Let's see. Nice.
What's up, Lisa?
For
Lisa.
those in the groups, you can go ahead and in the description of the post that you're looking at, it has a little link there. If you click the link, it'll give basically the system the ability to have your name shown. So right now, for example, someone commented and said, "Hello from Venice, Florida," but it just says Facebook user. So on the top of the post, you'll see it has a link for you to actually approve to let your name be shown. If not, just put your name in. We'll read it. It's just some of the privacy things that Facebook has. One question came in immediately. What software do you use to set up the moving graphics in your live stream? Um, I'd say it's magic, but really not that difficult. So it's actually some background overlays. So there's a video playing, it just kind of loops, and then we have overlays over it. So we overlays over it. So we're using Ecamm. So we can get really technical and do a lot of funky stuff, but it's cool to kind of switch it up and do something a little bit different. So this is that's how that's kind of set up. Hey Roger, we got Roger in the house, Fort Drum, New York. What's going on, my brother?
All
8191.
right.
Roger pops up for all the stuff it does. I love it. What's going on, Brian? So let's actually no,
All right.
we're gonna be gentlemen here now. What's going on,
Yeah,
Amy?
let Amy go first.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here tonight. This is my first time doing a Friday Night Live, so I love watching them. So now I'm happy to be a part of it. So I'm a veteran coach. I'm on DP's team for Coach Champ or Team Champions, and yeah, just hanging out with the fellows tonight.
Nice. What's going on,
All
Brian? I
right.
haven't seen you in forever.
Haven't seen you since last year,
Mm-hmm.
so good to be back. Refreshed after the holidays, recharged, got some good family time. So hoping everybody else did. Maybe some quiet time to decompress from all the activity of the previous year. So,
Cool.
yep, good to be here.
How was your New Year's? Let's talk about that. Let's catch up. How was you know, your anything special you guys did on your side for the New Year on your end?
Not
Well,
really for. Oh,
go ahead. Amy.
well, not really. We just kind of hung out and watched some TV, and of course, we stayed up till midnight and did the traditional toast, and that's about it. It was pretty low key. Ordered some Chinese food. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's a thing.
That seems to be a thing. We talked about it on our
The
last one
yeah,
before the end of the year. That apparently that's a practice.
yeah. So it was kind of low key. Just kind of hung out. So
Hmm. Yeah, I've never
Yeah,
done
we
Chinese food.
well, it's the Christmas Story movie. You know, it's all about Christmas and going to the Chinese
Oh,
theater.
yes.
Ah.
That's
As a matter
right.
of fact, whenever I was in Germany during Christmas, we went to a Chinese restaurant. So yeah,
That's right. Actually, my mom sent me. Uh, she sent me. We got a package for Christmas, and she actually bought our New Year's Eve Chinese dinner. So yeah, it's a thing. I didn't really realize it until you actually brought it up because it's some people do it for Christmas too, or is it Christmas Eve, I guess. And until you brought it up, and then I thought about it, and I do remember my grandma in Massachusetts always having Chinese on Christmas Eve, but I mean New Year's Eve. So or eating my other grandma, she always eats black eyed peas on New Year's Eve.
yeah.
So
So that's our tradition, the old country tradition of eating black eyed peas and salt pork and cabbage on New Year's Day. So that was our tradition that we kept. Quiet day though.
Interesting.
what about you, DP?
So on this side, nothing too major or crazy that we do. As far as traditions concerned, don't I know I've heard some folks do like the beans or different things, or they do something simple to kind of bring in the new year, I guess, in a better space. Nothing too, I guess, out the norm. Really normal, right? We just kind of wait till midnight with the kids, get some poppers, get some stuff, and we just count it down. And after that, pretty much everybody kind of shuts down. So nothing too crazy, which is kind of interesting to
Have you
say.
been to New York? Since you're from there, have you been to New York for New Year's? Have you ever done
Um,
that?
yeah, being from New York, the last thing you want to do is be in Times Square with all that ruckus. So it's one of those things where the tourists go do that. You do it once in your
Okay.
lifetime, and then you realize that this is just not fun because the trains are a mess and it's just a process. Personally, I did it once, but it was never anything that I was like looking forward to do. But some people do make a point to go down there. So it's just, I guess it depends, on the individuals and folks. But if you are
Yeah,
visiting, try it.
I don't think
Yeah, I think
so.
I think I pass.
From what I understand, you're there all day and you can't get out for no reason, not even for the bathroom.
Yeah,
Oh, oh,
yeah, it's an experience. That's probably the best way to put it. Got a few more comments we'll bring up here. Hey, we got so Sergeant Yutzi. What's going on, my brother? Sergeant Yutzi was actually one of my first NCOs in the military. So a little fun fact here is I actually shared this on my personal page as well. So Sergeant Yutzi, we go back. My first memories of Sergeant Yutzi was literally he would walk around with a jug of water. And again, this is back in the day, so it's just fit and working out and doing things, and he had his jug of water. I'm sitting there like, man, that's a whole lot of water that you're walking around with, you know what I mean? But always, definitely a great NCO, leading from the front, good individual. New York City as well. He worked in corrections and then went on to retire, and he's doing some other great things in life. So good to see you, man. That's awesome. So for those that have never seen this, we have some comments. Again, we'll bring up the comments as we kind of go through it. For those in the Facebook group, Lisa, if you can, put a link to the YouTube channel as well. You can jump onto the YouTube channel. I think that gives you more abilities to comment and do stuff. So, for example, we do have folks popping in from YouTube. So that will show up as well there. So an option as well. The link will be in the comments if you scroll down. Let's see. Oh, we got Michelle in the house. U.S. Air Force 91 to 98. Ready for
Hey,
this new
Michelle.
year. Welcome. Thanks
All
for
right.
being here. Let's see. This is Richelle. I have to open it twice here. Richelle is in the house, representing
oh,
the team. We got Hiram in the house here. Uh,
What's up, Mark?
uh, yep. 12 grapes is a Spanish
okay.
tradition for New Year. So yeah. And
Wow.
that's actually an
Wow.
interesting piece, right? Depending on where you're from, it might be specific to your specific, country. So maybe somebody in Mexico or somebody in Guatemala and somebody in Cuba or Dominican Republic, they might do different things. So there's definitely a lot of variety of things that folks would do there for sure. So awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, crazy New Year. We actually went live 2 days ago with Alexis. So for those that didn't get a chance to see that, scroll back. We just did a random check-in. Fun fact: tomorrow we're actually doing a live as well. We're going to be talking about service dogs. That's posted as well on social media. So little quick kind of blurb on that. Really, what we're doing is there's a new app, and we'll talk about that too. Clubhouse. That's literally what the craze is right now, and it's kind of a thing. We spent some time in there, so I'll explain what Clubhouse is for those that may be interested. But we met Alexis in Clubhouse, and she is finishing her studies. She's in New York, and she's going to become a therapist. But she's also a veteran and has a service dog. And it's interesting because when it comes to service dogs, you don't really have a lot of women that really speak up, or that you can say, okay, I know this person has a service dog. Let's talk about it. So our lifestyles are very different. She's single. She lives in New York City. She doesn't have any kids. I'm married. I have kids. So that creates a whole different space there. Where do I go for the YouTube? If you scroll up, whoever asked the question, the link, Lisa just put it in the chat. I believe if you scroll up, you'll see she put it in there. Yeah.
Couple of comments above.
Almost check out current events. Yep. So yeah, a couple of comments above. If you scroll up, you'll see it. So definitely want to show that there. But for those, again, just to kind of plug tomorrow, you'll see it posted. But this is for tomorrow. We're calling it's a new series, Sound Off. So really, the genesis of this is pretty cool. So the concept here for tomorrow, pathways to getting a service dog. I'm actually in the process of getting a quick copy and paste here so I can share it with everyone so they have it too. So I'll add it to the description so you can go ahead and click that as well. So that is coming here to you now. So if you scroll to where you're seeing this in the closed mastermind group, you'll actually see it added into the description. I just edited the post. You might have to refresh the page, but the link is saved in there now. So it's on the top of this post. So Sound Off, Pathways to Getting a Service Dog. Alexis and myself are going to be talking tomorrow about that tomorrow evening. Again, link is up. So if you click on the description of this and click more, you'll see the link there. If you don't see it, just refresh the page and it'll pop up. So here we have, Hiram, he crossed over. There goes Hiram. Hiram's here too. Awesome, there you go. Just making sure it works. So it gives us a little variety of doing a little more things there. So,
Cool.
so Sound Off tomorrow. What that really comes down to is we identify that Friday Night Live, folks were asking for it, and it's kind of really laid back. We're not really having a lot of subjects. We want to talk about the Veterans Benefit Administration's modernization. New act that just came out and new benefits that are there. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. So we kind of answer some questions as it relates to benefits, but really just kind of no agenda, open, conversation. But tomorrow, for example, we're going to specifically be talking about mental health. So we're going to have a panel discussion. A few weeks ago, we talked about the Supreme Court's decision on the overturning of the statute of limitation for military sexual assault victims who may have had events, within the 80s forward. So there was a period of time where you couldn't bring charges up. The Supreme Court overruled that. So that was especially what we did. So now coming into Sound Off, really, that's the name of the show we're doing, and really it comes down to the military, right? So when you hear Sound Off, right, what happens? So it's one of the things we do at the bottom, right? It's a roll call. What reality is formation, right? You fall in, come on into formation. Once you're in formation, right, you can have a muster, you can call them, have a muster to make sure everybody's there. But Sound Off, you're eliciting that response from someone. So the concept behind Sound Off is really, in the Army at least, right? I don't know, Amy, you're going to have to let us know how the Air Force does this. But if Brian or I are leading a formation and you say sound off, you're pretty much saying somebody in the back, to say it with your chest, right? So from the rear, sound off, and then you have one, two, three, and you're eliciting that feedback. In the Air Force, I'm sure there's also, probably bullhorns
Yes.
that you'll guess you don't have to
Yes.
scream too much.
Yes.
But that's really what it is.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. But that's where Sound Off is. It's going to be on YouTube, and we're going to move into podcasting as well. But bringing on individuals, really the theme is mental health and nature. So we'll be talking about a variety of different subjects as it relates to the veteran experience, right? So talking with well, actually, we have some feedback here coming from the Marine Corps. They use microphones, so you don't have to sound off and say it with your chest, because you do get a microphone. So there's that part. So there's some support there. So that's happening tomorrow at 8 p.m. It'll be on YouTube as well, and we'll broadcast it here. Sometimes the closed groups, as we've noticed, it just gives us some issues, so we want to make sure that you can see it in different places. But that's the first of many series, so we have a few things that we want to kind of work just to share that. So tomorrow, Alexis will have a conversation about how we got our service dogs and discuss kind of life with that. It won't be obviously all inclusive because there's going to be much more conversations about that. We're going to do a panel discussion as well. So her organization, my organization, and then talking about service animals for different needs, right? Medical alerts, for psychiatric support, some for mobility. We'll talk emotional support animals as well, and kind of the laws and things that are happening, along with having a psychologist with us and a medical provider. So we can really kind of, look at all the areas, because someone may be coming at this from a different place. But more to follow, but that's happening tomorrow with Sound Off, Pathways to a Service Dog.
That's going to be exciting.
That's gonna be a good one. I'm excited. Alexis is awesome. I was able to get a little bit of background on her and her service dog Hope, and it's gonna be really good. She's gonna bring a lot to the table. Look for her to do big things for sure.
Yeah. So talking about that segues us into the Clubhouse application that some may have heard about, right? So what is this whole Clubhouse? Amy, what is Clubhouse? Brian, what is Clubhouse? Because y'all in there too.
It's awesome. It's a new social media platform. It's not the access to get in is kind of funny. You have to get an invite from somebody that's already in. Is that correct, DP? You have
Hmm.
to get like an invite from so it's not that easy to get in just yet. I don't know if that's going to change or not, but um, it's just a different way to do across the board networking for pretty much anything and everything you can imagine. The rooms are set up. It's almost like kind of like this, but you just don't see people's face. So
Hmm.
you listen to them talk, and you can. It's almost like it's a clubhouse. The hallways. There's a hallway, and you go into rooms, and you can pick which room you want to go into, and you can put your interest, and it pops up if you're in. Pings you if somebody's going live for something that you're interested in, and I feel. There you go.
There you go.
I
The hallway.
I think it's yes.
Hmm.
I think it's so unique because never before would I ever imagine that I could sit in a room and talk to people of this nature. It's amazing. I mean, meeting people
And that's a
just
room right
across the
there.
board. Yes. So it's kind of cool because you don't see, there's no intimidation because you can't
Hmm.
see, it's only by voice. And I just think it's going to be big. I really do. I think it's going to be big. And I think that Instagram's already picking up on it being big, which is why they added the new thing on Instagram that you can go, what is it,
Open
live
up
for?
chat rooms.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's great. It's great for networking, and man, we've met some amazing people on there.
Well, so that's a good point. So let's segue. That's where Alexis came
Yes,
from.
yes, 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 and just in general conversation, and then you get to know a little bit about them. And gosh, for how long were we on that? I didn't even know. Al was here in Colorado Springs, just right down the road from me. But it's cool. So Uh, Today we sat in on the service dog one. Just pretty much anything and everything that you can imagine. It's just been really unique and different. And I was telling my mom about that today. She loves Shark Tank, like you, DP.
Hmm.
So I was telling her about, being able to listen to some of these big name speakers and pick their brain on even being an entrepreneur or growth in yourself personally, professionally, within a team, work. It's great. I think it's going to be huge, and um, you can sit in there and listen to people that you never thought you would ever be able to. That's as close as
Hmm.
you're going to get to some of them, and it's super cool.
So
So
give me one thing you like about it. Yeah, that was real techy and real kind of detailed and polished up. One thing you like about it.
the networking for sure. Getting to meet people like Alexis, or there's so many, obviously, but just the networking, and I think that genuinely people really want to help each other out on there. I mean,
Hmm.
they really do, and they're really there for a good cause. And when we popped in, when we were doing one the other night, DP, what was it when all this was kind of unraveling
What
with
happened at
what
the
happened?
Capitol? Hmm. We just had a
Yeah,
we had a mental
and
health check in, and we just kind of opened the
yes.
room. We have rooms set up, and basically, that's. But I'll let you finish that thought. Then I'll explain kind of what we're doing in there.
Yeah, so it was so cool to have that room and have people come in there. And I don't know how many times we heard people say, I was so thankful to see this room, or I am so glad to be in this room and to hear this, and just kind of come together. And it was really good. It was really good for a lot of people. I think some people were feeling very triggered and just kind of upset about it. And people had talked about it, reminding them of deployments or 9/11 or whatever the case may be, and just kind of coming together to and then what was kind of cool too is we had a couple of people jump in that weren't veterans but had family members that were veterans, or just felt like they wanted to jump in and see what we had to say, and stayed there
Hmm.
and joined a very productive, added great value to the conversation. So I think the camaraderie is great. I think it's positive. I think it's very positive. Um, and it's not something you have to scroll up or scroll down or swipe this or swipe that, whatever. You can just kind of sit and listen. So one thing we were kind of joking the other day in the morning, listening to one, they're working out. They're at the gym, they're doing their thing, but they're participating in these calls and talking. And I mean, I told DP, I kind of feel guilty. They're working out here, and I'm looking for more chocolate and wanted to
Just
go back to bed.
different types of
But
motivation.
yeah, but so I'm excited. It's something different. It's something new. It's something positive, and I think big things will come from it.
Brian, what do you like?
Yeah, just to add, not to repeat anything Amy said, because the networking is awesome, and really just meeting people that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise, or who knows how you would have come across each other. So just the introduction to new people. But one of the things I really kind of like about the whole layout is that it's just audio, so you can sit there and listen to this open dialogue, this open conversation on these various topics that these rooms are covering. And you could be, it's just like people listen to the radio when they work. You can sit there and just listen to these various topics while you're working, or walk into the kitchen to get a cup of coffee, or whatever the case may be. So
Hmm.
it's like Amy said, people are working out. So it doesn't lock you down to a computer where you have to be sitting at your
Hmm.
sitting in a chair or something. So that's pretty nice. And just it's so new. There's just a lot of energy behind it, and so people are coming in and trying to add value, and they're not getting paid for it. So it's just them trying to provide value to others, and hopefully spread that across.
Yeah, and
So
so those are the main points there. So to give some background to it, there's a saying, right? There's nothing new under the sun. All right, so let's go back to the 90s. You'd have chat lines, right? You'd call in and you'd be in chat lines, and that was a thing. It's literally the same exact thing, but it's happening on a mobile device. So you're not on the wired phone in your room, right, with the long cord, trying to dial into some kind of group chat and then press a button. And no, it's a completely redo on that. And if you've noticed from a technology perspective, right? So let's get technical. What's happening is there's a shift. Look at what's happening right now. It's Friday Night Live, but I'm in front of my computer. We're having conversation. The question of how we do what we do has been brought up. But the fact is, you have to make a point to do this. I can't do other things right now because I am exclusively here. Social media, Instagram, I'm scrolling. I have to visually see it. Facebook, I have to scroll, see, and interact with it. What Clubhouse has done now is it kind of gives you the ability to just literally, to Brian's point, Amy's point, is have this in your ear. And literally with these two devices, you can move and do what you want. And because you're muted, the way it works is your timeline is when you're on Facebook, right? You're on Facebook, you scroll down and you see people's posts. That's a timeline. Same thing with Instagram and other places. In Clubhouse, they call it hallways. So the hallway is when you see all the various rooms, because rooms are connected by a hallway, right? That's kind of the play on that. So you scroll through the hallway, you have the ability to literally go into various rooms. So I, for example, brought up here, this is the hallway, right? So the camera here will focus in a second, and there's a hallway, right? Oop, there you go. So there's a hallway, there's a room, and I can kind of just scroll and see what's happening. So if I come a little bit closer, you'll see it here. It says 5 mistakes to avoid on Clubhouse, right? Or if I, for example, look at networking plugs, talent unlocks, virtual wholesaling, for example, here, 101. And if I go into that room, I will see that there are individuals there in said room, right? And I can see who they are and click on their face and profiles. But literally,
on the type of deals that we would have done. So I still would have been primarily wholesale. But I mean,
and you have the ability to have that kind of conversation, with that in your ear. So that's a quick little kind of demo into how that works. Here's the thing, though. It's happening with influencers first. So there's a waiting list. Only an iPhone is coming for Android. There's a waiting list, so people can let you in or give you an invite. So there's this exclusivity there, right? There's FOMO, fear of missing out. I can't get in. What's going on in there? What they did was smart was they moved in power dealers, right? Power brokers, big names. For example, Oprah was in there over the summer in rooms. I was in a room with Tyrese Gibson, with Damon John from Shark Tank, and various other magnets. Grant Cardone from the real estate business side of the house, and so on and so on. And what's interesting is the fact that they have these folks. So for those that are not really techie, I would explain to you this way. Consider a country club where the elite are. And the party starts at 10, but it's 8 p.m. You literally have 2 hours advance before everybody gets there. What that means is that I have the ability to walk over and talk to someone like Damon John or someone like Oprah in a room, ask a question, and they can pick me, and I can say, hey, this is who I am, and talk to them and be able to distinguish myself for whatever I'm there for, right? And as more people start to come, those initial connections will always be there, right? So again, the doors aren't open. You have the ability to walk. Alexis, we met a week ago today. On Sunday, we had a quick meeting. We knew we were going to do something. What happened this week happened. The very same day, we had a clubhouse room for mental health check-in. We have veterans coming in and out all day. And they just wanted to have a place to go where I didn't have to see you. You could just not be in a good place, but just put something in your ear and just get positivity. And that's really what we were able to do. And we went strong for 5 hours. And literally right after that, me and Amy reached out. She's like, can you do a live? I said, can the computer turn on? Let's go. And Alexis jumped on. We did an impromptu live and just wanted to spread more positivity because what's happening, it's a lot of chaos, right? So we understand that this is not just, hey, we'll play some music, we'll play some jokes, we'll do things, but really it's about changing the narrative, right? There's a lot going on in the veteran community, and with what's happened for many, it's been triggering to alarming degrees because this is the stuff you see on TV. right? This is supposed to be White House Down or Olympus Has Fallen or Gerard Butler film or Channing Tatum film. No, it's real life. And for many, this brought back 9/11, right? This is not a movie. This is life happening. So regardless of where you're at on the spectrum of politics, for many, it's a hard time. And understanding that, we were able to have conversations in Clubhouse. So I say that to say that it's not intrusive, right? You could be literally laying in your bed. You could literally be having a hard time. No one's seeing you. They're hearing you. But we're able to have conversations and really just be there for each other. But you can be into real estate. There's a group for that. So I just heard someone actually pitched one of the executives at Netflix and got picked up for a meeting to get a deal. Like, that's what's happening. They have a room with Shark Tank. Like, one of the first Shark Tank investors had a room, and he was literally hearing people pitch. And literally was like, you know what, I like your product, I like that, let's do it. And this is just an app. So when people are saying, oh, this is, no, people are networking, doing things. Alexis and I would not be doing this tomorrow for Sound Off had we not met over there, right? We're networking and doing things in business as entrepreneurs and veterans. This one veteran, this lady pitched to one of those VCs. She got an offer and literally created a partnership. Someone, like I said, was able to land a Netflix thing. They were doing auctions on the app. So again, the fact that this is giving people who you would never be able to talk to the ability to kind of reach out with you all, for someone who's very high level in operating in life. And again, I want to say it very carefully, for those individuals who are uber successful, they're operating in a different place. To Amy's point, the Morning with Champions is a channel they have, and they have the Grant Cardone, great, amazing people in there, but they're going through their routine, and some of them are working out. The room is from 5 to 10, and it's just the morning, kind of get your day right. But understanding that they're operating at a level where it's up in the morning for PT. They're literally parenting. Some of them have multiple businesses. These are individuals that are wealthy. Like, how does Tony Robbins live his life, right? Like, I'm overwhelmed doing one thing, and this individual is traveling the world and has multiple businesses and charities. How do you do these things? So to be a fly on the wall in the conversation of how these individuals do those things is powerful. Mm-hmm. And that's what you get access to. But I say that not because it's just that they're there. It's that for them, it's non-intrusive. Because they're not going to stop their routine to jump on a Zoom with us. But they can be on a treadmill with a headset in and have a conversation and listen to questions. So to Amy's point, you'll hear them come off mute and say, hey, I'm on the treadmill right now, but yeah, that's a good point. And they're not stopping their day, but you're not interrupting them. And that, to me, is the powerful piece. For us, it means that I'm not sitting in this chair. I'm walking my service dog. I'm able to go do certain things around the house. I can literally lay down for a little bit, have it in my ear. I can still continue to do things. So to the paradigm shift that's happening, this is the techie part, we're moving back to audio. Think about it. Why do we all have a Amazon piece in our homes listening to us? Why do we say, Siri, do a thing? All these voice-controlled applications are giving you something, which is time. So here's the punchline. Time is the narrative. Uber doesn't give you anything but time. The perception that a taxi will be here and I will arrive at my location in 10 minutes. Time, right? Airbnb, fill in the blank, all these things, Amazon, Prime, all these things are bartering on time. So what audio is doing, it's giving you the ability to understand time. I don't have time to jump on this Zoom. I want to interact with all of you. But I could also be walking my service dog now, having other meetings. I could literally have myself on mute as Amy holds the mic or as Brian does something while I'm on a call with a broker doing certain things. So long story short, that's the beauty of all this, because the perception of time to be able to network without having to use my eyes or use my hands means I can listen to it and put my attention elsewhere, because I have to make sure the kids get to school. I have to make sure I cook this thing. I have to make sure I have that business meeting that I'm doing. And I can literally be in a meeting listening to, and you'll hear people say, hey, DP, can you jump in on this real quick? And I'm like, give me a few, I'm on a meeting real quick. I'll be right back. But the fact is they're there. And that's the power. So the voice over applications are what's changing the narrative in business. So when you see things like what Amazon is doing, when you see things like what Apple is doing, they're changing the game because audio and voice is coming back, right? People don't want to do that. That's why podcasts right now are all over the place. Podcasts are nothing new, but all of a sudden there's a resurgence of it where people are saying podcast, because it's not intrusive. So that's the techie side and background to kind of where that's at. As far as timeline, one of the questions that came up was, what does it look like for time? How long does it take to get a response from Clubhouse app? I signed up, but they said they'll text me when the account is ready. So they literally, from what I understand, have less than about 1 million people signed up, 400,000 or so active. They're going to move on to Android, so they're kind of running through it. So Matt, I would say in your case, let's say, for example, if you are one of my contacts, you're on the waiting list. It'll ping me and ask me every so often, do you want, somebody's on the waiting list, or Matt is on the waiting list, do you want to let him in? So I can let you in if you're my contact. So if you have folks that you know who are on the app, I would advise you, here's a hack, make sure you have each other in your contacts, because the app is reading your contacts to see who do you know who's on the waiting list. So DP is in there. If you're not on my contact list, I can't let you in because I don't have your contact information. Whereas if I have Amy's information and Brian's information, I can easily see, okay, yes, you're here, let them in, right? And that's kind of how that's one of the ways in. Another way is I can give away an invite. So we're actually going to give away 3 invites that we have. We're going to do it across our platform. So we put it out there. That's going to be coming here in the next few days. So you can make a point to kind of, enter into that. So make sure that you let us know. But with the invite, that works. Now, what we're doing is we're holding rooms in the app for veterans and mental health. We talked about service dogs today. We're going to talk about military sexual trauma. We want to create a space because the fact is right now, right, we're in Facebook or YouTube. We're in another place where people are not there yet. So what we're trying to do is establish not only rooms, but a club. You can't get a club unless you've hosted rooms. We want to create an umbrella for veterans. So when the rest start to come in, guess what? Hey, we're over here, right? Like when you go someplace and you're in the back and you're like, hey, Brian, we're in the back. We have our seats already taken. That's what's happening. So right now, YouTube is oversaturated, Facebook is oversaturated, but there are new places like Clubhouse that may be of interest to some. And again, you don't have to worry about being techie. You don't need a fancy camera. You don't need a computer. You need headsets and a phone, or put it on speaker. So literally, there is no having to learn something new. It's literally sign in. I like this room. I go to it. I click it, and I am done. And that's literally the barriers to entry. So literally, I open my phone, I open said app, right? Again, all I did was just open it, and I make a point to say, yep, I want to go in there, and I'm in there. And I'm having...
Everybody got their own schedules. Absolutely.
So that's literally how easy that is. There's no need to do anything else but that. So that's a little bit about what that is. That's how we met Alexis. That's how the network and conversation is coming regarding... our service dogs tomorrow, and her being someone who's going to become a therapist, who's a woman, who is a veteran, who has a service dog. That came through Clubhouse.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed is that, we talk with veterans every day. In this space, it's not just veterans, but it's been very eye-opening to see how many commonalities we have with these people, these multimillionaires. Same thing, talking about, depression and suicide and, how they hit rock bottom. Some of these guys came from a past of being in prison and climbed their way up the ladder. It's amazing to be able to relate, but also have that space of the veteran community too.
You have a Marine by the name of Hiram. I think he's calling for the Air Force to help him now. So this is the part where you might have to use your microphone to get back to him.
Yes.
Well, the cool thing is though, what we're all about is community. We're about the veteran community specifically, or more particular, because we know that there's definitely an underservice for that, because we've experienced it personally and we know others are experiencing it. So just having these additional avenues to reach out to the community, that kind of support is just so encouraging for all these vets who find that as, just some motivation to maybe do something that they wouldn't have otherwise done.
So it's and that's really what it comes down to. Oh.
I have My
She
microphone.
pulled out an actual microphone. My daughter actually has that one. That's the karaoke microphone, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. My kids absolutely do not love it when I sing, but I got us all one for Christmas. So, um, Hiram,
You might have to
I'll
sing
give
us a
you one for
song.
Christmas.
No.
You want me to?
Th-
Yes.
That's where you're supposed to lip sync right there.
And actually, yeah, that might. I love it. Hey, so they were talking about how what do you do? Somebody said something about what do you do when you get nervous, or before you have to go on stage, or before you talk, and it was good feedback. Somebody was talking about he even takes a shower and changes his clothes if he has to, or listening to um, their favorite comedian for 10 minutes, or whatever the case may be. So I was joking around with my kids, and I told them that's what I do. I sing right before
And that
and
and
it's
that's and
very
that and I will
effective.
say that's a powerful piece because um, there's one point in there, right? And this is I will say towards Brian. I'm not saying this towards Amy. I'm saying this towards Brian. Brian's thing could be singing. There's no requirement that you have to be good at it, right? That's the part we add into it, right? We always say, but you're not. Nobody asks about whether you're good or not. His thing is singing. Whether or not the dogs start running in circles and the squirrels run the other way, that's neither here nor there. But for your mental health, if you got to go ahead and hit that high note, look, you can always get more more plates and windows can be replaced. That's fine.
DP, you must have found my stash of audition tapes. So
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
you
I
you
Well,
used to
captured
tell my
that pretty
kids
good.
all the time.
here's
Yes,
your
I used to tell
trivia.
my kids
Here's
all
your
the
little
time that I
trivia.
was trying out for American Idol.
Well, we're not gonna try it today. Does anyone want to take a guess who this might be? I know who it is. Um, he was jamming with you. That's the only clue you get.
Yeah, yeah.
T.
No, that's
Terrell.
Aaron.
No.
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron, that's right.
Yeah.
Aaron. Aaron,
No
that's
dancing.
right. That's right. That's right.
Lisa has responded and said, Mama Bear has said, no dancing for Beloff. The way his shoulders are set up right now, we don't want to, incite that.
Yeah, I need to give it a rest a little bit here. Make sure I don't
Uh,
overextend myself.
but yeah.
My
So,
kids,
but
my
that's
kids
a good
almost
point.
cry.
When you
They
sing,
they cry now. They almost cry when I sing. When they see me get this microphone, they will put the pillows over their head and beg me not to sing. Like almost like in tears, beg me not to sing.
I don't know if that.
Fortunate.
I'm gonna say that may not be. Um, what did Lisa say? I'm still in therapy from that. So there's a point there, right? So Lisa's saying that she's still in therapy from your, American Idol auditions, but there's a key point there, right? Which is anything that you can do for your mental health to kind of cope with life or whatever, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. This is where Amy failed. Try it, do it. Go to your car, scream, do what you must, as long as you're not hurting anyone around you. However, if you're going to hit a high note, we're disabled veterans, and the last thing you need to do is exacerbate somebody's tinnitus. You know what I mean? It's just not fair. You know what I mean? I don't. You have to be realistic here. It's bad enough to have ringing in the ears, and then here comes Belov and hits that high note. Now we go from ringing to just outright, just mortifier having in your ear. So,
Well, I told DP Brian. I said I think we should do like a veteran idol, and that was
Oh, there you go.
secretly because I just want to fulfill my dreams of.
so I'm gonna challenge that real quick, and I'm gonna say I don't know if it's so much that you want to fulfill your dream. I think what you're trying to do is remember when we were in the military, and again, this might not apply to some branches. I'll just put it that way. But you had running groups, right? And you had A team, A group, B group, C group, D group. Depending on whatever your run times were, you'd be in different groups. The fastest of the fast would be in A group, right? Those are the guys running, the 5 minute, to
Yep.
7 minute miles and whatnot. All that to say that sometimes you had people who slacked. You had A and B group runners who would slip into D group to run slower, right? Because it was a long night and they don't want to push themselves. And, you know, if you had a good NCO like Sergeant Utsi, it'd be like, you belong in B group. Get out of formation. You don't belong in D group. Stop it. You run a 5-minute mile and you want to run with a 12-minute mile or with the walkers, you don't have a profile, you're not walking. So that is the example to say, I don't know if Amy wants to really, you know, relive the American Idol thing or really just make a point to put herself around D group singers so that her C group singing, you know, is that much easier. So when we hit our notes, it's like, holy cow, she's amazing. The problem is when you get in front of Simon Cowell, he's like, your friends must really hate you because you may sound better than them, but this is horrendous.
My poor kids. They've got a break since I've had this cough. They've got a bit of a break from me, but when they opened it on Christmas and I opened mine, both of them just looked at each other and like they were not excited to have the microphones anymore. And I was like, we can do this together. This is gonna be amazing. And yeah, it's not.
No, Jesus takes the comment of the day right here. I was an age group, hungover group. Trust me.
Who is that? Is that
Jesus? Jesus? Yep.
Oh,
So here's the reality. And you come on now. Back in the Army, Brian, you remember that. Like those Monday morning formations, or actually the worst ones would be after holiday. So that Tuesday formation from a 4-day weekend, and that entire formation just reeked of what happened over the weekend, and holy hell. And guess what? Of course, right? That. Full disclosure, I said Brian. I specifically said Brian, remember. But the fact is, what would the first sergeant do, right? Or the platoon sergeant would do is like, guess what we're doing today, right? We're doing a 5-mile run or 10-mile. What? It's a 4-day holiday weekend. Jesus says
coming out of your pores, right?
It was like the whole formation had you know when it's really hot outside and there's like an aura that's happening around you of like the heat when it's like really, really cold because you're sweating. Yeah, that's just the fumes of liqueur or the spirits leaving your body.
What about the Army?
Say again?
Hungover and you sang.
It's the little things. You'd be surprised. You said what about in the Army?
Yeah, in the Army.
What about it?
What do you guys do? Do you have microphones?
You use your chest. You sound off. You got to bring it from your belly. You got to say it with your chest.
Only when they had the Army Idol, you know. That's
our Army Idol. I tell you what though, I was pretty decent. Jose might be out there, but I was pretty decent at calling cadence. I could project with the best of them. Right about now, I'd need a freaking asthma inhaler just to be able to catch my breath after about a good few stanzas. But I tell you, I've met some cadence callers, man, that they would hit just like when you literally can call cadence and you literally give people goosebumps because of like you could just sing and you can project. Oh man! But hey, full disclosure. Went to school. I'd run and lead cadence and call and do all that. Loved it. But I will say, I will admit for the jarheads and my fellow brothers in red here, Linda specifically, I love me some yodelers in the Marine Corps. I don't know what it is. I love them calling cadence. They're yodeling, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, I can't understand half the stuff they're saying, but it sounds amazing nonetheless. There's your fun fact of admitting to that, but. We didn't have idol. We had formation calling. You want to sing? Go ahead and sing. Get out there one time.
Yeah, get out there and lead it.
What we have here? 4 a.m. run. Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, who? It would be Aaron. 4 a.m. runs home over the best. Well, that, my friend, is something that we should just unpack real quickly. This is not shout out. This is Friday Night Live, but. This is when we have to get real with it, man. That's trauma, my friend. That's trauma. You're coming from a place of trauma if you're sitting here talking about 4 a.m. hungover runs were the best. That's literally where you have that syndrome where your captor now becomes the person you protect. No, That is
Yep.
not a good thing. There's nothing fun about 4 a.m. hungover runs that you should be doing at all. So, yeah, that's a negative Ghost Rider. What we have? What do you have here? Love the cadence, but now I need my inhalers. All I get is puffs of smoke. Yeah, that's Jesus. Yeah, I tell you, I can appreciate the other ones kind of doing that and all that stuff, but yeah, that's mm-mm, mm-mm. So, geez, Louise, here we go. Oh, so now the truth is coming out. So Aaron has made a point to establish that no, they were not fun.
Oh
They
yeah.
sucked. That's what we call in the army, at least. False motivation beats no motivation. So act like you mean it, and play along with it. So, but let's switch gears for a little bit here and talk about some fun stuff that's happened, or some interesting things rather that has happened out there. Specifically, the Deborah Sampson Act. We talked a little bit about it, so let's go ahead and kind of switch gears and talk about that, right? Prominently, let's make a point to observe that Amy is centered and prominent and bigger than us
Yes.
because she wanted to sit that way. So we are acquiescing, and I am shrinking myself because
Thank
that's
you.
just the way it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a few points here to kind of bring out. So this was introduced and was passed with the recent bill, but there's some highlight points that I think are just worth at least mentioning for the VA care. Deborah Sampson, for the history buffs, if you look her up, she was pretty much, she enlisted as a man, right, and kind of went undercover, and that's why there's that, the whole she fought to get those rights and so forth. But here, really, this bill directed, to carry out some peer-to-peer assistance and support. There's also the link that has been posted, so that'll come up here in a second. That Lisa put up. So all that to say, there's some amazing things here. Expanding women's vet center calls to include text messaging capabilities, establishing partnerships with at least one non-governmental organization to provide legal services for women based upon their 10 highest unmet needs, ensuring medical facilities have at least one full-time, part-time women health provider, expanding 14 days of post-delivery care, costs, collect, analyze, and publish data to each VA service or benefit program, and disaggregate such data by sex, status, publish internet websites for centralized information. Just a lot of benefits here, that are available. But the biggest thing is this also added, as you see on the top, let's see, emphasis placed upon women who are suffering from service-related sexual trauma or who are at risk of becoming homeless. And I think this is huge because these are the things that we've always argued that you don't see a lot of. There's not a lot of representation. There's not a lot of data, right? So when you see things like this, even the fact that they're now saying we must collect the data, right? Because there's an underreporting of so many things in this space. So there's a lot to unpack. Again, this is not going to be a big dive, but this is huge. The links are in the chat section, but definitely, I think it's worth noting and talking about this. Amy, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking?
I think it's great. I really do. I think it's going to be very beneficial. They have quite a bit of money going into it. I think it's like $20,000 or 20 million for healthcare for the facilities, and they're going to, have rooms and
Mm-hmm.
equipment to be able to do healthcare for women that, just hasn't existed. I think it's huge, the prenatal, or I mean the maternity type stuff that they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
doing. Um, they're also adding in like a residency program
Mm-hmm.
for veterans as well, and
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's going to be really big. I mean, it's great. They also are going to allow reserve and guard members of military sexual trauma to be able to seek
Mm.
care, like counseling, or
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to have advocates, and I think it's going to be very, very beneficial. So I'm excited for it. I think it's huge. Like you said, Deborah Sampson, she was one of the most heroic people in the American Revolution, right? I mean, she went in as a man, and was the first. I think it was the first female to receive the full pension from being in the Revolutionary Army, actually. Yeah, so I think it's huge. I'm excited. I think
and
it's
and
going to be
and this was
great.
and this was introduced. So one thing, just to caveat to Amy's point, right? So this went in and actually then was actually passed into law with another bill, right? So the actual bill itself, we'll see here. And again, we're not going to go through the whole thing, but it's specifically this one right here, right? So it passed as 7105. So you'll see the actual name here being the Johnny Isaacson David P. Rowe Veterans Health and Benefit Improvement Act of 2020. And then in Section 5, you'll see there's many things here. So there's a lot of things definitely that we can unpack. Assistance for homeless veterans, and you can begin to see some of the services here that are available. Specifically, what actually is law. Women Veteran Retrofit Initiative, establishing the environment of care standards and inspections at the VA, medical centers, provisions for reintegration and readjustment service for veterans and family members in group retreat settings, provision of legal services for women, Controller General surveys and report on supportive services to provide very low income for women veteran, programs on assistance for child care for certain veterans, the availability of prosthetics for women veteran from the VA. Like, think about it. These are things that you don't think about that because of the fact that it's just, far removed. Requirements to improve the VA's affairs women's veteran call center. Studies on infertility services furnished at VA veteran affairs locations. And then sense of Congress to access and facilitate the VA department, to your point, by reservists and for counseling and treatment related to military sexual trauma. So when you come to this, right, you can do a search, you can click on it, and then it'll break down specifically what it's actually providing, right? So here you'll see the actual, what it's actually breaking down here of what are the services that are available, right? So for specific, what you just mentioned, right, it's the sense of Congress that members of the reserve components of the armed forces, including members of the National Guard, should be able to access all health care facilities of the VA, not just vet centers, to receive counseling and treatment relating to military sexual trauma. And then it defines military sexual trauma, has a meaning in such terms as title, so forth. So it kind of defines it based off the other. So this is how, when you look at how these things are passed, where the power comes into that. Back to your point you were saying, so this is so people can actually see what it looks like, which is putting just more than just a link, but really, putting some words to it.
Well,
Yeah,
just
and
to
I
add to
think
the,
too. Oh, go
I was
ahead,
just
sorry.
going to add real quick to the military sexual trauma. One of the really solid things that they added to this is that with the disability claims. So now suffers, whoever's putting in claims for military sexual trauma will be able to choose the sex of the examiner, and only specialized providers will be the ones that process those claims. So they've really taken some important steps to protect the veterans who are filing those particular disability claims.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think, you guys kind of did a deep dive into the Supreme Court, the whole, that they unanimously overturned the military appeals court ruling on the military sexual trauma. And so it was kind of interesting to see that came out, and then this followed up with being able to provide that care to military sexual trauma victims. So I think that's cool. They're doing good things. And who would have thought, really, in this day and age, that the VA didn't have a women's health clinic or even the equipment to do exams for a woman?
Mm-hmm. Well,
It's
even
it's
here for
kind of
the
crazy that it's
but you
taken this
wouldn't
long.
know. But yet now you see the languages here, even to include pandemic assistance. Right here are a few different things: continuation of care and services at the VA for veterans that may have contracted COVID-19 and whatnot. So there's a lot benefits. General benefits, burial benefits are covered in here. Housing is expanded, homeless care, health care added pieces there. But specifically, for the things that we're discussing here, again, I think this part is amazing and huge. We're again focusing on this part here for the Deborah Sampson language. But one thing, Amy, and again, we're not going to deep dive too much into this today. But what would you said something I think is worth noting, which is being able to choose the sex of the provider that you are working with. I think that's a huge thing that people would not, they would assume it's there, but for someone who is a military sexual trauma, let's say victim, who wants to move to becoming a survivor, can you talk a little bit about that as far as being able to be comfortable and in that respect?
Sure, I think that's one of the biggest things that victims kind of struggle with is that, trying to get to a space to be able to, a safe space for them where they can be vulnerably open and honest and tell their truth is very difficult for some because of the gender. Um, you hear that all the time that, they just didn't feel comfortable. They didn't, they don't, I mean, and it's
There,
obviously
well,
understandable,
there's
but
a
I
comment
think,
right there. This is one good thing I
oh,
like
sure,
about
yeah.
Facebook. So this is a
Yeah.
user, but nonetheless, here's a female veteran who can actually, relate to some of that. So some of the comments that are coming up as well, relate to that what you just said.
So I think it's going to be powerful for, women and men because, I think we don't talk enough about men that deal with military sexual trauma as well. And the men are not comfortable with male examiners. And there's no way to pick your examiner. You can, it's, you get who you get, right? And so, depending on your situation, male, female, or what your preference is as far as an examiner, but um, absolutely. I think it's going to be huge. And I think that that will be beneficial for people because sometimes you go into maybe a CMP or you go in, to see a provider with the intention to seek help, but you're not on a level of comfort to be able to seek the help that you need or talk about it or tell your truth. So I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be beneficial. I look forward to it, and I think it's definitely going to hopefully help people have some confidence to come forward and get the disability and compensation they deserve.
And that's
So
a good point that was brought up here by Jay as well. And we always stress this, right? At the end of the day, it's good to talk about benefits. It's good to talk about what may be available, but understand to tell your truth. It's hard enough to just come forward and get the benefits you deserve, but some people will lie, right? It's like, I'm gonna get my hand out, right? Amy got her rating, I'm gonna get mine. Well, first of all, this is the part of my service dog. He's having a good time right now, so that's part of the realness of things, right? Um, but actually, he has his little birthday thing. That's what he's actually having fun times with here. So it's his little for his birthday. We got him a little
Oh,
cake
slice of
little
cake.
thing. It's a slice of cake, and he literally enjoys it. So he's like, okay, look, I'm not bothering you. Don't bother me. But this is big. This always kind of throws me off. That's big, because the fact of the matter is, lying or presenting false information, that can come back to bite you, right? You want to be truthful. You want to be able to make an argument to what you're legally, morally, ethically entitled to, not to fabricate something, right? It's hard enough to get veterans to speak up and get the help they need, but sadly, in our space, right, elephant in the room, it's, well, Brian Lofton, you got, this rating. I'm gonna go get mine. Well, think about what we're talking about here, right? No one says that in the real world. Well, Brian, you have diabetes type 2. I'm going to get me better diabetes. Like, what? And again, it's very loose tongue in cheek, but the reality is there are a lot of veterans that would give anything to not have to deal with multiple sclerosis or have to deal with crippling chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia. So the fact that they're being compensated for what they're dealing with is not something people would envy, right? Someone who has a high rating for mental health, you would not want to be stuck in a house fearing walking out of the house because of what you're dealing with. Your inability to perform daily functions of living, that you don't want to be able to get off the bed. You have veterans who are dealing with a level of chronic pain where they've lost the will to live because you get tired of just being in pain and you get tired of living. So that's nothing to be envious about at all. So again, because someone has a disability rating, it's basically saying that the VA is recognizing that this has impaired your life and ability to do certain things, and because of that, there's a financial compensation that comes in there along with care and services for that. So that's a great point that was brought up. We always say it, and I always talk about it. There are people out there who need to get their butt off the chair and go to the doctor. They need to go and file for what they're due. You're lying to yourself. But sadly, we also know that the veteran community is a subset of the world at large, and some people are going to try to get over. But to that same point, it'll come back and bite you to the tune of what Jay just said. A Vietnam veteran who was caught now owes all that. So, don't make false claims.
Well, and that's only part of what he has to repay. So, yeah.
That part. We talked about this too. This is one of the points that came up here. Additional benefits as well.
Oh yes, that is huge too for people that are going to school, to be able to the GI Bills to schools that may be closed down or canceled, that you're going to be able to continue. There's a whole section in there about that actually. Um,
Yeah.
the benefits for I was just looking at it. I was going to bring it up.
Yeah, the fact that they're going to start publishing the DBQs back for public use by non-VA providers, that's going to be helpful for veterans who are going to be looking at filing their claims. And outside of that, one of the things that caught my eye was even for housing, uh, they're now going to extend the definition of veteran to those who served in the National Guard, uh, full-time National Guard duty. Some criteria for that, but still, they're going to extend it to the National Guard as well for that. That's going to help a lot.
Right here.
Help a lot of vets. Yep.
So housing. Let's go right to it. Amendments to the Section 4 with respect to full National Guard duty as defined as well. So here, to that same point, the term veteran also includes, for purposes of home loans, individuals who perform full-time National Guard as defined of not less than 90 days cumulative, but includes 30 consecutive days, and so forth. So again, yep. So there it is. And again, those are literally. It just takes something that simple to be able to define, right, that veteran also includes a National Guard who meets the criteria, because the reality is there are some veterans who, quite frankly, could not, apply for certain home loans because of their status. So this right here as well, if you are in this, and this applies to you, and you are, for example, a reserve component, National Guardsman or reservist, this term now includes, again, for purposes of home loans, an individual who performed full-time National Guard duty of not less than 90 days cumulatively, and that includes at least 30 days consecutively, are eligible now, to be added into that. So the amendment by the section shall apply for respect for full-time National Guard duty as defined, performed on or before the date of the enactment of this act. Right. So now those that are out there, they can go ahead and look into this. So again, just one of the different things. There's so much in here. Literally, we could sit here and just break it down day by day in different aspects. But yeah, to your point, Brian, that's literally right there as well.
Yep. I think we've got a comment, even talking about the enhanced provisions for homeless vets. The fact is that they're going to increase the funding to organizations that provide services to homeless vets, and that's really encouraging. And come across, even we were talking about Clubhouse earlier, come across somebody who in South Carolina who provides services to homeless vets, and now they're going to maybe have an opportunity to expend that service because of this bill. So it's great. This law.
Yeah, I just literally found that right here. So that's that same point here for the assistance for homeless veterans, flexibility for the Secretary of VA in caring for homeless veterans, legal services for homeless veterans at risk, or those are at risk for homelessness, a gap analysis by the VA program to provide assistance to women veterans who are homeless, improvements to grants, right, awarded by the VA to entities that provide services to homeless veterans. So again, this is right from the source, right? This is not just going to some, recapture. This is right here giving it to you. These are where some of these organizations now can, potentially get more grants based off what's here provided. So there's a lot definitely to unpack here. But again, looking at the information, there's definitely a lot that's definitely going to be impacted, obviously, by professionals. We don't, purport to be lawyers or anything like that, nor on TV or in closed quarters. But as people who just read and can look into this, there's so much that just you begin to say, wow, that's, this is not something you probably thought was already there. But the fact is, it was not.
They also put a pretty big increase in the budget for retraining It was like at 15 million now, and it's 45. Well, they're
45.
gonna it's up to 45, right? And offering more services for transitioning vets, which is amazing because that is something that I think we lack significantly, and really trying to help people with that transition and their spouses. So troops and their spouses. So it'll be it's gonna be good. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Well, and to that point on the transition piece, uh, those who are within 180 days or less of separating will now be able to be classified as a veteran for education purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be really helpful for transition.
And there's the piece that you just mentioned, striking the 15 to the 45.
That's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna, yeah.
So it's so again a lot of good things, and obviously we'll start hearing about them as they get kind of rolled out. What's going on, Kenneth? We got Kenneth in the house.
Hey, Kenneth.
What's up, Kat?
Let's see who this comment came up here. Great seeing your faces again. Happy Friday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Thank you for your time. No, thank you for being here. No, that's Aaron here. Yeah. So again, and that's really what this is all about. You know what I mean? It's all about it's all about coming down, spending some time, sharing, having these conversations. Nothing too heavy or serious, but we always say that when we do these, events, many of you are busy, and it's like, why are you doing a Friday Night Live? Don't you have something better to do? And the reality is, there are some veterans right now that don't have anything better to do. They are literally alone. Maybe estranged from your family. You may be by yourself, and really coming out here to try to spread positivity. It's not just saying a post. It's saying, hey, look, we'll sit here with you, right? We'll have this conversation, right? We'll talk about things and answer questions as they come up. But really, it's about making a point to spend time with that one person. So even if it's one person right now who we can keep company, who gives them at least something to look forward to, I always kind of issue that challenge, which is if you enjoyed being with us here today and it's at least helped you a little bit, and maybe you didn't have anything to do, then we want to see you next time. When we come back again, I want to see you in the comment. Because literally, for those of us that deal with mental health conditions at times, that's literally what can make a difference, right? Somebody saying, hey, Brian, I want to see you next Tuesday. And for many of us who have that sense of maybe I don't care about what I am doing, but in turn, I don't want to let Brian down. That may be the difference maker for some because of the fact of accountability. And it's great to say that, but some don't have anyone to be accountable to, nor do they have the ability to ask that question. So here, the intent is to use technology and say, no, I want to hold you accountable and say, we'll be here. So I want to see you again. Right. And by saying that, that's exactly what this is. Because when I say I want to see you again, I want to see that comment. I want to see you come back and say, hey, I'm back again, showing up. Right. Here's kind of one of our main folks here popping in. We got Joe Compton popping in, U.S. Navy, 83 to 03. Right. I want to see you again. I'm good seeing you, Joe. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here.
Good job.
So it's those things that I think it's lacking in our community. And if we have the means to do this, it's all worth it to me, and what it's all about.
Well, and that's going back to the community theme, right? I mean, that's what we're all about. It's really difficult when we talk to vets who literally are lonely and contemplating even as something as severe as ending their lives, even when they have other family members in the home, because they're lonely. They don't have anybody to associate with because they've even isolated themselves within their own home. And hey, we're here. You can post comments. You can just sit here and watch and just know that you're amongst like-minded individuals who have had similar experiences in some form or fashion.
And that's really what it's all about. I'd say by sharing this in more platforms, we're doing this. We want to pay it forward, right? So one of the requests we got last year was to do more of these on Friday Night Live, and Sound Off kicking tomorrow. And there's another thing in the works that we're working on. But really, it's to just create the things that are for us, by us, not just hey, look at this stuff. No, we want to hear from you, right? So provide us these questions. Let us know how we can support and better help you. And really, the only ask in all of this, right? It's simply one, if you appreciate what we're trying to do and you want to support it, like this, share it, subscribe to it. And the reason that I'm trying to push the YouTube piece is we found that though we have a close community in Facebook, many individuals don't have Facebook. Right. So for many of our veterans, Vietnam veterans, they're like, I don't understand this Facebook thing. However, a link to YouTube, it's public. So there's no barrier to entry, right? You click this link, we're going live, you can see us, and there's easy. Versus others who may not want to be on social media. YouTube is just watching videos. So being able to go live there for some might make the difference. But the only way we can support that is by doing this, right? There are other veterans out there. They might be able to hear this. So being able to comment, being able to subscribe, liking the video, sharing the video, tagging someone in Facebook and saying, hey, come on down and check this out. Even if you watch it on replay, share it. And for the next time we come down, join us. Because even if you're not here live watching us, we're still in the comment section. We're going to reply to you. We're going to say hello to you. We're going to converse with you regardless in the comment sections. If you're here with us live, then we're just having a live conversation. But really, this is what it's about, right? It's about building a community one by one. And if we have at least a few folks that want to sit with us, then we will sit with you. Because sometimes I think when it comes to mental health, the biggest thing for some is just having someone to just be there with them, not to patronize them. Mm-hmm. You have 3 individuals here that, again, this is not legal advice, not medical or therapeutic advice. This is 3 veterans who have dealt with unique things from different walks of life. Apparently some sing better than others. We've established that already. And Brian and I actually have tinnitus because of that. But the fact of the matter is, we are here to spend some time with you guys, right? You have to be able to hit the hard subjects, but understand that for those of you right now that are dealing with issues, who are in a dark place, we're literally just crawling down there with you, right? Right. Amy, she did a live a few weeks ago, and they talked about military sexual trauma. We'll talk about some hard subjects. And for those hard subjects, we want to give you permission to literally turn this off and come back to it later. Go into your closet, go into your car, go into a place where you can actually have this conversation. Friday Night Live is more kind of loose and just kind of hang out, but sometimes we'll talk about some hard stuff on, Sound Off. Or we might do a special on military sexual trauma and what the Supreme Court has done. Removing that statute of limitation means that someone who experienced this assault in 87 can bring now legal charges forward. Yes, there's legal precedence, but there's a mental health aspect for some who have packed away things, and now you're saying that I can go back and potentially bring charges on my perpetrators? That is something that psychologically has to be addressed before you ever think about the legal aspect of things. And being able to understand that for many, that's triggering in and of itself. What happened a few days ago, triggering in and of itself. And understanding that how do we cope with that? Right? And being able to know that if you're triggered or you're having issues or you're having a hard time, there's resources out there. So this is really what this is all about, but we can't do it alone. So the support and the question that I say we would ask of you seeing us is like it. Like when you hear people on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. No, not because we want to get views. It's because there's a veteran out there who's not going to see this unless the system and the algorithm sees, oh, this thing you're doing on Friday Night Live, people are actually seeing it and find value in it. The system just sees whether or not you are interacting with it. So when we're asking you, hey, put down your branch of service, go to YouTube right now. Put down your branch of service. Put down the years that you serve, right? So we can bring it up on the screen and honor that service. But then somebody else next week when they watch this, they'll go into the comment section and say, oh, wow, look at all these brothers and sisters who actually serve too. That's the part where technology can become therapeutic, because to the point, again, that was brought up earlier, I would say this is powerful, right? Here's a veteran. I have a family. But this military family is the only one that actually shares the mutual understanding and experiences. So thank you all for sharing and being here. Keep these Friday Night Lives going. I love them. They are very helpful to me. That statement alone is worth it. Don't care what anybody else says. But the thing is, sadly, there are 100 more of those. Hit it, Amy.
Yep. I think there's something to be said for even if it's only helping that one person, then you help that one person. Even if you were only there for that one person, you were there for that one person. And sometimes that's why we do it, for that one person that says this is what they look forward to. As soon as the week starts, they look forward to Friday coming so that they can join us on this. And I think, when you talked about accountability, there's something to be said for that. One thing that you always do is have the roll call, right? Tell us where you're from, tell us where you served your years. And now it's just so cool to see people just automatically just start putting it. As soon as they log in, they start putting the stuff in there. And so that's cool. It goes back to that accountability piece where, the camaraderie and we're with you. I mean, you're not on the screen with us, but we're with you,
We'll
And
bring.
so
I'll bring you
I
in. We'll bring you in.
I was thinking
Hello,
that today.
hello.
We should do that. We should start doing that. As
Bring you in the heart second.
We,
That's easy.
we
Yes,
need
yes. Or
Amy
you
with the
should bring
golden
the other Amy.
microphone, and we call it the man on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Or the woman on the street.
Uh,
But
yes,
you know what
but I
I would
love
say,
it.
what I would add to Amy's point, I think that is huge is it's that for many veterans, right? Again, we've interacted and supported veterans in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and just knowing them and talking and interacting and sharing. And I will share and say that one of the things I've noticed is a lot of individuals leave service, and there's a period of an adjustment disorder of sorts, finding your way again. Many of us served as we were coming into adulthood. I enlisted literally a few days after my 17th birthday. So my adult formation as a human being happened in service, right? Hence the Sergeant Yutsis of the world and others that, kind of were those role models for us. That's the path we chose. And then you leave that and you come to a world that doesn't operate the way the military operates, and we deal with the realities of life. I say that to say that for many of us, you just kind of detach from all things military. And there's there's a need and a void that remains where even if you did not like what you did in the military, what we all miss is the camaraderie. Nobody misses the 4:30 runs. Nobody misses having to deal with a-holes. Nobody misses the crap that happens because life happens, right? But people miss the camaraderie. They miss the brotherhood. They miss the sisterhood. And the fact that that is taken away, we just suppress it and put it away. And over the years, that causes things where we kind of just push away all things military. So for many of us that are seeing us right now, you may recall a time where you wore or had nothing up in your house that would have said anything military, and people would have not even known you served unless they knew you, because it's a period of time that's just kind of like a push away. And then as veterans start to get older, you kind of start going back to a place where you pull out the Vietnam hat, you pull out the Gulf War hat, you pull out the OIF, OEF, right? But there's something going on there. And my thesis is this. I think we begin to kind of appreciate the service we had, but there's another underlying tone that's taking place for many of our veterans when they start to come back and pull out the old hat or go by a store and see the, I'm a veteran hat, and they put it on. For some, beyond the pride, which is definitely what's happening again, right? Rekindling that. It also can be something that is depressing because it's a reminder of who you used to be.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we were soldiers. It's a reminder that we were at one time invincible. There was a reminder that we could get up at 4:30 and we could run and we could do all the things that we talk about, but we are no longer those individuals. And that reality is one that isn't spoken, where you have that, but it becomes more a reminder of what I used to be. And you speak in past tense. And we guard ourselves because we use dark humor, right? And it's like, Brian, man, back in my day, you don't understand. And back in my day, I'll tell you what, when I used to do that, everything is always past tense. You don't live in the present anymore. So you've come to a place where you're not here. You're back in 87. You're back in 95. Some of you are back in 67. And what's happening is there's a disconnect that I think is what we're trying to do here. So my thesis in that is we have failed as a community to build on the legacy that is service. I'll say it again. Our legacy, we have lost touch with it. In the Marine Corps, once a Marine, you're always a Marine. You know the Marine Corps' birthday, and you always knock out an extra one for Chesty Puller. There's a rich history there. And there's something that the Marine Corps has done that has to happen in other places. And I'm speaking as a Army veteran, but as a command and staff graduate of the Marine Corps University as well. But there's a fact that it's missing where we don't honor our warriors. You know what you call someone who used to be the strongest warrior in the tribe? Who used to be the one that had all the accolades and all the wounds of war? You know what you call him or her? You call them elders. What the fuck do we call our old veterans? You call them Joe. You call them the guys at the VA. You call them those broken people. You're not what you used to be. But today, Vietnam veteran, Gulf War veteran, Korean War veteran, you are an elder in our community. And as such, when I say your time of service and the years you served, it's honoring what you've done. Maybe when you got back from Vietnam, they didn't give you your flowers, and they may have said what they've said, but the reality of the matter is you are an elder in our community. And the legacy that we have to reestablish and hold means that we have to honor those that came before us. Because for all the good things I did, it was on the shoulders of Sergeant Yutzi, who gave me the example of what an E5 should have been when I came in as a snot-nosed E1. All the things that we've ever done is because someone taught us how to do it. A baby doesn't learn how to wipe its ass until its parent teaches them that. So in service, where did you learn the good things you do? I'm not a great person because I made it up. I emulate those before me. That's legacy. So part of what we have to do as veterans is build a community that truly embraces the legacy of our elders. I want to hear from John. And that's why the challenge to all of you is share this on YouTube, give it to them, because that 60-year-old veteran, that 70-year-old veteran, that Korean War veteran, I want to say come back to the fold because there's something you have that we need today. There's a resilience you have that many of our veterans today don't have because they're compounded with negativity, right? It's not the newspaper saying, oh, you're this, you're that. No, it's everywhere here with you. And that is taking the lives of our young veterans every day at the tune of over 22. It has to stop. And it doesn't stop unless we have the conversations, break the stigma, and understand that we have people that are not done yet. You're 60 years old, you're not done yet. You're 70 years old, you're not done yet. And what that means is that as an elder, it is your responsibility to help out that 20-year-old kid who's lost and doesn't know what the hell he's going to do with himself. He came into service to do 20 years, and guess what happened? They got put out for a medical situation, and now they're lost. You got to put your hand on their shoulder and say, Brian, it's going to be okay. I've been there. I understand that. I'm not going to patronize you, but I'm going to help you. You can get through this. I did it. Follow me. I'll lead the way. That's what elders do. They don't lead with this. There was a time to be strong and use brawn. But this comes from heart and from the mind and from the soul that an elder gives you, that experience. The ability to know that it's not strength that wins this war. It's experience, compassion, and empathy. So that's the thesis and ethos of all of this. Sound off and all these things and what we're doing is to say we have to look out for each other, both the ones that are just becoming veterans and the ones that feel they have nothing to offer. Why? Because you're not as strong as you used to be. Doesn't matter. You can't walk? Doesn't matter. If you can talk, let me hear you. If you can write, let me read your stuff. However you can, there is a story that has to be shared because that's really what's missing. We have to reestablish the legacy that is missing in our community. So for me, in our bubble, you are an elder if you've served, and you may not be what you used to be, but that band of brothers still remains. So that's really what this is all about, to get a little bit heavy on you. But again, my tinnitus is acting up because Amy was doing some singing.
Amen.
Yeah.
No,
Amen.
to that point, I think there's something to be said too, where a lot of people, I think, sometimes military was not a good experience for them, especially if they did go through something like PTSD, combat, non-combat, MST, whatever the situation may be. But it brought out, as much as positivity was there, there was negativity as well, and they want to make that go away. And so, to what somebody had said, they made the comment about that they threw everything away. And I actually heard one of my clients this week was talking about how he took everything to his mom's house. He didn't want anything in his house anymore at all, and it was just too much. It was too painful. But they do, yes. And so, but so that part of you, you want to let it go, but at the same time, this community is here to support, and and I think people want to be a part of it because people understand and you can relate. And it's talking amongst people, with the, even if it's, just to sit, like you said, DP, just to sit, just to hang out, just to sit. And so even though there was a lot of negativity, they still can find comfort in community. And that's what, we're trying to do right here, is provide that community, compassion, care, right? So, being here for one another, because you're here, you're watching, and we love it, and we want you to come back. And so even though, there's that negativity, find some positivity, share your story, hang out with us, be a part of it.
Well, that's
Amen, DP.
the power of the community. And the mic back over. No,
for Amy singing.
So yeah, because like DP, I went in when I was 17. You did not imagine when you're going into the service how much that's going to completely transform your life and how you look at things. Whenever I got out and I go back into a college classroom, and I feel like I'm a grandpa compared to these other kids, because their experiences are still partying. There's nothing, no gravity to their experiences for the most part, right? And so every one of us who have put on the uniform, gone through the training, gone through the hard times, we've been shaped in a way that the rest of society isn't going to be able to recognize. And that's the beauty of us supporting each other, is because we can recognize those things, and we can support you whenever you have a hard time today, feeling shame because you just weren't able to accomplish what you wanted to. But you go back and look to that day before, right? If I could go back 5 days before, or 5 minutes before this happened, then that was a good time. And so that's kind of also where we're living too, right? When was the last good time of my life?
Somebody said on Clubhouse, actually, something that was pretty powerful. Somebody was doubting themselves, and she said, I don't know, I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't know. I mean, I'm speaking from the Air Force, but when you completed basic training, that's huge. If you can do that, you can do anything. I mean, go back to the strength that you found to sign on the dotted line and enter the military. Think back on, those awards that you maybe got, or that one person that you helped, or the 5 friendships that you established that you still, look at you and Jay, DP. Situations like that, where as much as there can be, it might be bad. I think, giving ourselves some grace and realizing, wow, you know what? Yes, we did this, we can do. And she said, if you went to boot camp, you can do anything, because what do you need to get through boot camp? Apply that to your everyday life, and it's huge.
That's powerful. To your point, right? Just a little bit of grace. I think we are our own worst enemies. We can be so harsh on ourselves, right? We can really when you look at, for example, instances where folks look at all the attributes and things that we bring to the table. I'll tell you that we can deal with a lot of stuff because you can't put up pressure upon me that I have not done already to myself. for many of us, it's like, how did you deal with all this adversity? You have no clue that this is a cakewalk compared to what some people do to themselves. And that's literally internal turmoil that some individuals deal with. So I will tell you that at the end of the day, just having a little bit of grace and just being able to put all that aside. One thing I'll add to the ticker you see in the bottom, there's also a reason why we're only asking your branch of service and the years you served. Because it doesn't matter what your job was. It doesn't matter what your rank was. There's a time and place for go Army, beat Navy. But post-service, many of us continue to peacock against each other and try to, say who's had it worse than the other. And that becomes something. And in this space, what we need is more of just honoring the service we've done. It doesn't matter what you did. The point is you served. And at the end of the day, you signed the same contract that I signed, that you signed. And that's really what it's about. So understanding that we don't want to have an instance where it's like, well, you think you had it bad in your conflict. Well, let me tell you about Vietnam. Or you think you had it bad in your conflict. Let me tell you about, the Gulf War. And it continues, that cycle. And what we need more is just to say, welcome home. And just welcome each other and support each other, because it doesn't matter what you did. I don't care about your job. The point is you served. And that's really what it's about. So that's part of the reason why we ask for the branch of service and the years. Because everything else is irrelevant. Let's see. We've got some good ones here. Curtis shared from YouTube. My brothers told me, and I repeated and told y'all, go for broke, all in.
Amen, Curtis. That's right.
You guys agreement here to Amy's point that she just shared. Great comment
Oh, they want
here.
me to sing?
No, that was not what was said. That was not what was said.
Okay, so I have to tell you, my girls are with their dad this weekend, and they're tuning in via YouTube at the right age of 9 and 11. So shout out to them.
Shout out to the dog. Yeah.
But they do want me to sing, which is crazy, right? Because they don't want me to sing here, but they really want to see your guys' faces when I sing.
Look at this comment that just came up from Capri. Like, this is the power of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Capri, what brand? That's wow. Thank you for your service. Thank you for sharing that. But that's powerful.
We should bring her on live.
Yes. Curtis, thank you for expressing.
Oh,
thank you. No, thank you, Curtis. And I think that's really what this is about. I think that what ends up happening a lot of times is we don't have the words in our, to be able to express things. So we know we're all dealing with stuff, but being able to put words, because of what we've had access to, the amount of people we've worked with, we can speak to the plight of many veterans, because I can't count how many Vietnam veterans I know and I worked with. How many men who have experienced military sexual trauma. Not just women, men. That's a real thing, and there's so many conversations.
It is crazy, right? Yep. I would say, and I used to think it was just a time and a place that I was in. I think I've been saying this on the lives that I've done with you, DP, and that I did with Brian Reese, that each time I thought it might just be that place, that time, but still, hands down, to this day, I personally have more male MST clients than I do female. And it's shocking. We talk about underreported. Well, the statistics for men, I would say, are not accurate. They're not. Mm-hmm. And I think building the community and making them understand that they have a safe place, and how encouraging them to tell their truth and helping them understand how to tell their truth is so necessary and can be so powerful for them.
Mm-hmm. This is something new also is coming out. Early Summer Male are going through boot camp together for the first time in the Marine Corps as well. So that's a big thing in the Marine Corps, because they had not integrated either. So these are the things that are definitely taking place and changing currently as we speak.
Wow,
that's powerful stuff there.
Yeah.
But on another note, I will definitely say that I think that Amy took the wrong answer here. So this comment of "yep" was not "you should sing." It was a concurrence to the previous statements that were made, not an endorsement for the microphone to come back out.
I think so.
I think deep down inside, Brian, that what's happening here is Amy is, because she doesn't have to worry about the girls being home and hearing her kind of go off on the mic, she just feels a liberation. That's what it is. Like
She
the
needs. She
cat's
wants. She
away.
needs an audience, right? Her girls aren't there, so she needs the audience, and we're our audience,
The
right?
cat's away and the mouse is playing.
She requested that I sing "Shallow," and she just wants to see she wants to see your guys' faces.
Shallow.
Oh,
This is the part where I'll kind of use some magical stuff and disappear into technology world.
well, right. If I didn't have this cough and I wasn't feeling a little under the weather, I absolutely would. So stay tuned for the next Friday Night Live, and it could be veteran karaoke night.
Ooh.
Hey,
Oh,
that might be a
sweet
thing.
Lord.
We do that.
If you notice, there's a common theme here. She's brought up Veteran Idol. She has brought up now karaoke. Like, there's no play here where she doesn't switch it. Like, when your kids want something and they'll find some way to always bring it back to what they want. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, we definitely. I do want some mashed potatoes. But I also think that we could sing about mashed potatoes too. And it's just like, how are you lacing in literally music and song into everything? It's like, what? It's a great thing that happened. They went ahead and added a few more dollars to our benefits. That's amazing. We could buy better microphones to sing. What?
What?
It's in the bill. I saw it.
Quincy has a.
She's just got to let it out.
Yeah, Quincy has a friend.
See, and here comes the negative part of service, right? In service, this is what happens, right? We talk about building this community. We talk about legacies. We empower our elders. This is the bad side of this thing. We cannot condone this type of negative peer pressure. Sing no, Kenneth, no.
Yes. And Quincy's friend is here, and
oh no,
when you're here for a while.
What is this? Brian Lofton can dance the mashed potato.
Mashed potatoes? That's amazing.
I don't know about that dance, but I sure can eat them.
See, Hiram said, I am busy next week. I might have to miss it.
Well, guess who isn't getting a Clubhouse invite?
Well, look, here exactly. You're treading carefully. Capri says, best cadence night karaoke. Oh. Wait a second. See what you did there?
She might be onto something.
You're onto something. That's kind of strategic.
Yes.
Damn it, Capri. Why did you do this to us?
I liked her.
I
liked her.
You know what? Capri, this right here gets the comment of the day. That might be the one of the day.
Send it in. We could
request
ask people if they would like to send it in.
Lord.
Yes. Lisa, yes. Yes, Lisa.
Hey, DP, I thought you could mute some of these comments.
Yeah, I'm trying to be unbiased here, but Lord.
Maybe we could bring them on. Maybe they could send in. You could send in your audition, or you could send in your video. We could play it. It's bad. Quincy has a friend here, and I guess he's pretty comfortable. So he did come around and tell me that maybe not scream so much. I was like, what?
See, this is why she was one of the first ones in that platoon. She literally said, I am practicing.
Gonna practice.
She is practicing.
Well, you know what?
Awesome.
Friday, be here. Yes, keep an eye out for the next live. We're gonna get you information.
And there is agreement here. So she is concurring with you. You see, there's a dynamic here. We see that we're changing. Part of community means also understanding that sometimes, things like this happen, so I'll find a safe spot in the community where I can go hide after whatever happens. Because I'm telling you, when Brian Lofton hits that high note, all y'all going to say, where happens to the bladder control?
Disappear. Yeah,
But
screens are
you
going
know
to disappear.
There's a lot of hidden talent in veterans.
Capri, now she's dating herself. She said she could make a mixtape. Literally a mixtape.
You're gonna dump that on your boombox.
Hiram says, that's a great idea. I can show off my cadence, left, right. Hey, look. I'm telling you, I think we're onto something. Capri, you started this mess.
Absolutely. Yep, I think we could. I think it'd be fun. We should do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would definitely be. Tape.
Yeah.
What tape we're talking about? We're going back now way too much. Oh no. Right there with you. Comment, Lisa. Lisa's in the comment section going wild. It's man, what is happening? We have in true Cool in the Gang. That's look.
Oh man.
Capri, this is almost like we should have segments to this. This is like the land nav course. We've completely lost our way. Someone get a compass. Amy, you are of no use.
I absolutely think
You don't what?
way.
No, well, we found a new way. That's the best way to look at it. My compass was going another way.
Yeah, we need to triangulate our position and find our way back.
Yes, well, in the Air Force, Amy would just kind of type it in, and do-do-do-do-do-do, and then Waze would come in and help you get to where you got to get to. Oh man, that's reel to reel. Break out the 8-track.
Yes.
Lisa said Lisa's brick house.
The brick house. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think they're ready. I do like the cadence beats. I think that would be pretty cool.
I think we could pull it off. I think we could.
I don't want you to sing, Amy. What's one of your favorite cadences you remember? Matter of fact, right now, comment below. What is one of your favorite cadences? You may not remember the name, but give me something that we should be able to at least bring up. So for those out there, Hiram, use some words, because remember, we're saying that there may be some yodeling, so we need some words to be able to bring it up here. So Amy or Brian, what is one of your favorite cadences that you can remember?
Navy, don't be blue. Well, no, that might not be an appropriate one. I don't know.
Well, hey.
Navy, don't be blue. Army women, I won't say it, but it rhymes.
Yeah.
Army women are. Air Force is the best. We all pass our ASVAB test. That is
wow.
It was.
Oh
So,
man,
yes,
that's
my favorite one. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite one, but that's the one that the Air Force sang the most. So.
oh man.
This is the part where people start getting weird little flashbacks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see. I don't recall any Air Force, trash talking cadences right now, but I'm gonna have to go look some up. No, just kidding. No,
my mind is going back. Which one is it?
My favorite running cadence was, C-130.
30 rolling down the strip.
Yep. And then of
Take a little
course the marching cadence was Tiny Bubbles. There's
Tiny Bubbles
there's
in my cup.
My beer.
Makes me happy. Makes me feel fine.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. A little bird.
Yes, I do know about the little bird. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Sitting on my windowsill, lured him in with a piece of bread, and then I smashed his little head.
Yeah.
Yes, we did sing that one too.
Yep.
It's funny that you said that, because I was thinking, I remember there was something about a bird, but I couldn't remember what it was. But yes. That's
Yeah, Capri got that one. Ain't no sense in looking down, because ain't no discharge on the ground.
That's right.
That's a good old running cadence right there. Yep.
That's a good one.
Kenneth came in, Pebbles and Bam Bam on a Saturday night. Yep.
There's actually a really cool one. I don't think this was around whenever I was in, but it's the Chuck Norris cadence.
Mm-hmm.
I've caught that on YouTube, and that is really awesome.
Have you? Yeah, this one's a good one too. It's funny how you see the different branches, right? Mama, can't you see what the Army's done to me? And it's funny how you see how they kind of switch it around. What the Corps has done to me in the Air Force, it's like, mama, take notes. Look how great it is in the Air Force to me. Like, there's a difference, what I mean? We might take a more condescending tone. I don't know if that's the tone you put into it, Amy. Someone said Brian is bringing back the oldies and goodies.
That's right.
It makes me happy, makes me feel fine, or makes me throw up. That's another one in there. All right, so Brian, please don't say anything. I want to see what Amy's comment to this will be. Ready?
Yep.
Amy, the question is, what makes the green grass grow?
Pass.
What makes the green grass grow? Blood, drill sergeant. Blood makes the green grass grow.
Oh,
Blood
really?
makes the green grass grow.
The kill will
There's
come
no
blue
blood
steel.
in there,
George.
Bruce.
That's right, the Jody
Jody
cadences.
cadences, that never fails. But it's funny though, right? So now look at that. This is literally one of those things where I can't tell you how many times I've said this to random folks, and it's just, like randomly, when you live wherever you live, and it's just like, man, the grass is kind of nice. I'm like, well, you know what made it grow, right? People are like, what blood? I'm like, what? What do you mean? Did somebody call the sheriff's department? No, no, no.
We were talking last night. I think it was Naomi and I were talking to Quincy and his friend, and we were talking about. I said something about she was in the Navy or something like that, and we were joking about that. And I said, "Oh, the Air Force doesn't deploy to any locations that there is not Wi-Fi." So.
Oh,
Hey, now I have to take exception to that statement. They do get their annual physicals and they get their blood drawn. So, yeah, there's that.
that does count. Paper cuts do
Unless you're
count.
scared of the needle.
Paper cuts.
Yeah, I remember. Speaking of needles, I don't know who out there can relate. When if you get certified to be like a combat lifesaver, and part of that is like an impromptu course on how to stick someone and pop an IV and all that stuff. Man, I tell you, I remember seeing some folks that went through that course and straight crashed. Like, people that actually pass out and they see blood or kind of doing that, and it's like, I don't know if Brian Lofton should be a combat lifesaver, because literally he passes out at the sight of a needle and blood, and he's supposed to stick me, and one person got stuck bad, and they started squirting, and all you saw was just, that Johnson's down, Smith's passed out, he's wobbling. And then the scary part is sometimes it's the big ones too. I'm talking about the 220 pounds, 6'5", PT stuff. Boom, gone.
Ain't no moving him.
Nope. So there's something positive is great. Now I'm gonna be singing this in my sleep. Yeah, a little bird sing that.
Yes.
Now this right here might be a marine. What's running down your leg? Juice. That sounds like you might need some kind of colostomy bag or something. That might be a situation. What's happening here? What is going on?
Scared something out of you, huh?
Is that
That was Hiram. Nasal pharyngeal combat lifesaver course. Yep, I'm telling you, being a combat lifesaver. Man, not everybody should take that course nor go through it. Let's see here. Oh wait, medvacs. My bad. So those little things count. Let's see. Let's try to see if we can get a few more. Let's get two different cadences out there. I need a Navy. Who out there right now is in the Navy? Someone has to have a Navy cadence. We have some Air Force cadences. We've heard of Army cadences, Marine cadences. Hiram's been, running around in circles with juice running down his leg, apparently. I can't call it. But now, there has to be a Navy one out there. Someone, if you can, please.
Was Aaron in the Navy?
Aaron was. Oh, yeah, but I think if he's still there, yeah, let me see if he has something for us. Let's see here. Here we go. What's this one? Love those thinking pilots on my rapid tactical C-5 flights. Try to make us barf, then laugh when we all sat in our slings and puked. Well, I'll give you that, y'all. I'll tell you, man. Look, them pilots, man. I flew Space A little bit from time when I was in service and just had some time to kill, and the stuff that you see is amazing. But some of those pilots, man, they'll make your stomach turn if they can do that. So don't talk too bad about transport, because not a good day. That's awesome. Let's see. Is Aaron still out there? In the comment section, definitely. We want to check and see if there is a oh no, Capri, you just over here now poking. This is just not even right now. Come on now. The Navy don't run; they play volleyball. Well, look. What they call it? PT. It's a mixed PT session, right? Not everything needs to be a run, I guess, so that can count as PT a little bit there.
There you go.
That is awesome. I like that. I'm sure Aaron will pop in there in the comment section and drop in a few Navy cadences, but yeah, this is what you started, Capri. You did this to us. Um, Kenneth wants to
Yep.
know, Amy, if you and your colleagues have bicycles for your PT test.
That's part of the 2 mile biking test.
Yeah, actually, it's a thing. Like I'll tell you what, people sleep on that, like that
Yeah, when I
walking.
came in, it was still the bike test, but not anymore.
Mm.
And that was actually hard to pass. If you were in shape, it was very hard to pass
Oh
it.
no, no, no. That's what I was gonna say. Like if you actually do the actual walking, like those time hacks, don't sleep on that thing. You got to work to that. You can't
Oh,
just show up and jump on that bike.
that's harder.
Hmm.
I used to be a PTL, the leader. You know, the physical training leader.
Oh, oh no, I'm sorry. The juice is the sweat, says Marine HD. Okay, that's moving on to the next
Um,
comment.
and those walks, you're right. They're hard. That's no joke. I would rather run than have to do those walks.
Oh, Jesus has a good offer here. Like we got to get representatives to jump in here with the Red Lobster jingle. Oh sweet goodness! I will say this: those daggone biscuits, man. Those Red Lobster biscuits.
Can't
Goodness
beat it.
gracious, man.
Yes.
That's the good stuff right there. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
No, that's awesome. I think that's definitely something to look into for sure. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
We're gonna have to get some
Hey,
more
you should
Navy
put it out there
representation here.
yeah,
Hmm?
put it out there on the mastermind to
What's
drop
that?
your favorite. Put it out there on the mastermind to
Mm-hmm.
drop your favorite cadence.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Or
on the
from
next
the
Friday night.
Friday.
We have a few things to. Oh, oh. See how that mic keeps popping up at the most random times. Just ready to go. Um, like some
Always
people,
ready.
when
Always
they're
ready.
doing
Always.
when they're doing their podcast or stuff, they have all their things kind of set up. Amy's ready. You know what I mean? We all have our little mics, and you kind of have it set up, and you're ready to go do your thing. No, Amy. Every so often, all you see is this. Yes, I have a submission to make. What's that? Did somebody call me to sing? What is happening here?
Just
Hey,
happen to be laying around.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see what we have here.
Maya just said when you said pass to DP when he asked you what makes the grass grow, I was laughing so hard.
Had a Marine go through the gas chamber, started crying, yelling, "I can't see," and my drill instructor said, "Open your eyes, moron." Oh no!
Something about those
No.
Marines, man.
But it's literally like when you're like so even like in law enforcement, right? It's like you get maced and you go through stuff. It's like, I can't breathe. You're talking. That means you can breathe. But this takes the cake. Open your eyes, moron. Oh, that's oh my god. That goes up there. Well, you know what? That one doesn't
That's
count.
funny.
Hiram is staff, so Capri still holds the comment of the day. So for those that don't know, what we'll usually do is kind of identify the comment of the day, and whatever is the comment of the day that really works, that's the one that we'll send a shirt to and do something for. So Capri, you hold it down, being part of the there. So we got you. Those in the comment section, we have that noted. But but staff doesn't count. So staff, and our folks obviously they can't compete. But I will say though, this one, had Hiram not been part of the team, takes it. This is hilarious. Jesus Lord. Oh, oh my God. Who said this?
Me and Capri could team up.
Capri literally just said, "Sing it, Amy." You can always say, "Well, I had a cough." COVID karaoke. You said this is what you call improvising.
Hashtag facts.
Yes. I'm telling you, man. What did Lisa say? I think any control.
Everybody's gonna want me to sing.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what might be happening here. Yes, I definitely need. We've lost all control has been lost. See that even there's agreement that we need to find our way. We have, lost our bearings here on this Friday night, and that's usually what happens towards the end. It becomes a You know, how far off course can we get? Ironically, all roads lead to the same exact place. So when it's all said and done, that is all right. I see
Hey, that's
Lisa's
what
having a
Friday
great
Night
chuckle.
Live is about. We just freestyle.
Yeah, that part. But oh no, don't Brian, don't say that because
Freestyle
freestyling.
singing.
Exactly. See
Oh
that?
no! Oh no! Oh,
You did this to us. You did this
oh
to
no!
us. You did that to
Somebody
us.
take those batteries.
Oh no. Mm-mm-mm.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
yes.
That
It's gonna
is.
be a thing now. Brian, do you have a mic?
No.
We'll get you one.
Mm-mm. 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 What is
my,
happening?
my wife won't let a mic anywhere near me.
I
That's
do
how
have
bad
the
it is.
track to one of Brian's lost LPs out there.
There you go.
You guys might not know this, but Brian Lofton, we call him Sweetfoot, singular because the other one, you know, drop leg and stuff, right? But I tell you, Sweetfoot, man, moves around, sweet tango. It's like one of those, like the most interesting man alive.
That's
Little
right.
Brian action right there. Fun facts.
I just keep it subtle.
You gotta be subtle. That's all. Oh goodness.
That's funny.
What somebody said? Who needs Comedy Central when you have Friday Night Live? Sadly, we also are self-aware that the joke's on us, so that's okay. Oh goodness. Capri, I'll tell you, we'd have to bring you on and get you to the content side of the house. Best military joke. That's a whole nother one. Because
Oh
boy,
man.
Hiram let it off though. Hiram did lead it off with "Open your eyes, moron." That's by far one of the best ones. So today, Lisa has already, in advance of what's happening, is making a point to be proactive. She definitely is going to need more therapy sessions after this. You know, because from 2020, where can we go but up? But nobody said just how tumultuous that will be.
That's what I try. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is, enjoy those moments. Enjoy them. I mean,
Hmm.
if you enjoy it, it makes you feel good. Does it matter if you sing good or not? Not really. If it makes you feel good. I mean,
You see
Hey,
how
if
she
it-
did
if it
that? You
makes
see
me
how she
feel
did that?
good- If it makes me feel good, unfortunately, Lisa's going to have to have her therapist on speed dial 24/7.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have like text a therapist.
Yeah,
Text
there
a
is no
therapist.
scheduling. There's no scheduling
TAT.
anything. I need
can
help
you
now.
can you put DP? Can you put the number on there of for them to text what song they would like me to sing?
Oh Lord,
Oh no.
did you literally say?
Can you do that? And then we can revisit this.
I like how you made a point to use that. So I will bring up the number. We have a text, to call type of
Yes.
capability, and what
Join
she's
our SMS community.
we have an SMS community, and basically what that is, and I'll bring it up here in a second. It's the ability to text us. So if we, let's say, have information or are doing different things, we'll shoot out a blast so you can join it. We can communicate through text, which I think it's easier for many. So it's a good capability that we've been kind of testing out, and we're going to start rolling here moving forward. So I'll go ahead and pop that here into the screen while I look at some other comments that are coming around.
Yes.
Oh, wait a second. Somebody said that they seen Brian Lofton in action. They said he shuffles. Matter of fact, here's another thing they were gonna do, right? So we have the cadences, we have the jokes. Now we're gonna move beyond Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is Chuck Norris emeritus, but we need Brian Lofton facts. And this will be the first one, right? So the most interesting man in the world, you have all kinds of facts. So here is the first submission that we have. He shuffles with one drink in hand and the other in his pockets. Again, this is all happening on one foot because the other one is crossed over the first one. So if you have a fun fact of Brian, we're gonna call these Brian facts. So like you see Chuck Norris facts, like for example, a snake bit Chuck Norris and then the snake died. Liam Neeson called him and said, "I have a special set of skills." And when Chuck Norris said hello, he said wrong number, sorry, and hung up and went the other way. There's all these facts that we have. They are Brian facts, and we need them. So this is the first of those. Hashtag Brian facts.
There you go. Oh man,
that is epic. Let me bring up this this number for those that you can go ahead and text, and we'll add it also in the description, so you all can see that there also.
So if Maya is still watching, Maya, text that number. What song you want me to sing?
I like how it just there's not missing any beats.
she's stacking the queue here.
Literally in her favor. I don't know how I feel about that. That's literally, we can't have a competition because she's gaming the system and she's winning.
And then Nia can piggyback on that and text too. Maya and Nia.
Now, what kind of lesson are you teaching your girls?
How to win, apparently, is what it is.
But what's funny
right.
is that they do not want me to sing here. When they're here, they don't want me to sing. Not even a little bit. But now they're requesting me to sing.
Yeah, because we're the ones that have to deal with this. We're the ones that have to deal with the aftermath of what they're trying to incite. This is no bueno.
My mute button doesn't affect the ears; it just affects the mic.
This is also true. All right, so bring that number up so you can join our text community by sending a text message to boop. Here it is. Pop it up here. Let me give it an actual.
But in all seriousness, text us any questions maybe that you want us to ask or anything that you'd like us to talk about. If you see that we have lives coming up, if you have specific questions, text us and we'll try to get them all answered while we're doing the lives.
Yep. So yeah, that's our SMS text community. So if you send a text message to this number, 202-217-1228, it's funny when they're not moving. I get used to the little tickers, so I like rolling tickers now. What we'll do is, that's a fast one too. Let's slow that one down. It'll add you to our community. So you send a text message, it'll basically add you to us. And as we're doing different things, you'll have the ability to get information from us, updates, things that we may be doing, impromptu lives and things like that. So that's kind of what that is. So you can go ahead and send that text message. It'll add you to our community. You can put in there the information that you have, and we'll add you too. So something interesting there. And I'm actually going to create a new community literally in real time. And this one will be called our Friday Night Live community. So FNL will be the community. And to be added to that community, you just have to text hashtag FNL. Hashtag FNL. It will add you to our Friday night community. So we'll put right here. Cool. Text.
I'm gonna add myself.
Hashtag
Does that count?
FNL. Yeah, it does count. So that'll be the way to join us there. So there it is. Hashtag FNL. See that? Using technology to do all this fun stuff. So that's how you can join our SMS community. It'll come to your phone. We're not bombarding you and sending you all kinds of stuff. It's literally just us trying to create, again, community for different things. Some folks like to join different things we're doing, so we have the ability to basically add them to different places. So literally, we have our first one there. So the first one to actually join is Lisa. Lisa is one of the first ones in our FNL community, Friday Night Live.
She asked for me to sing? Is that what
no, she did not ask for you to sing. No. So if you want Amy to sing, hashtag FNL, and then you can write Amy sing or Amy don't sing. So happy face for sing, sad face for no sing. We'll see what comes in after that. So as of right now, we'd
What's
have
gonna be
no.
really funny is when I actually do sing, you guys are gonna see how good I actually am.
Someone said, "Oh, we're in trouble now." Mm-hmm. 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 Yep.
That's because they can't turn the volume down here.
What? This is one. I'm trying to figure out who said this one. This
Referencing my
this
kids, I'm assuming.
we could send private smart ass SMSs, text messages to each other, and you'd have to read them. So yeah, I think that would be cool. Random messages that we can kind of share and do. So yeah, I think that'll be pretty awesome. Sweet. So we have a bunch of things that are in the pipeline for things to do. So to recap, we have established that we will be having cadence, apparently karaoke at some point. For now, if you have a cadence you remember, please comment that below.
Yes.
We have requests for Amy to sing, so apparently you can also text 202-217-1228 hashtag FNL and Amy sings. That would be the happy face yes or sad face no. So if the text message comes in with a sad face in your name, that means please don't. Or crying emoji, that means no. Not laughing emoji. And we have the cadence that you remember, best military jokes, and then we have hashtag Brian instances where he is sharing his fun facts as far as what he's been through. So like the Chuck Norris fun facts, those will be the Brian fun facts as well. Yes, let's see here. Oh, you muted yourself, Amy. Oh, nope, you still muted yourself. Let's see. Uh-oh, I think you started singing so loudly that it just went to the mute. Hmm. Interesting.
There we go.
Oh, there you
Can
go.
you hear me? That was weird.
I hear you. Yeah, I think. Oh, we lost Brian. I think Brian ran away. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
He went to go run away real quick and came back.
Just a little technical difficulty.
No. So that being said, we'll start wrapping it up. In closing, we just like to leave at least one tip or one piece. People did not notice or let they picked up very quickly the minute you were gone. Like we lost Brian. We need more Brian. So there's that part. Can't have him not on the camera.
Gotta leave on one more.
Leave him wanting just a little bit. That's another fun fact of Brian.
Yes.
He entices you with a little bit. Next thing you know, that's all she wrote. Somebody's blaming the Russian hackers
Right.
for trying to jump in here, but Amy, our tech savvy person, fixed the issue, so we're good here now. All things are fine. We have a last minute request. Apparently, this must be to hashtag FNL Amy sings. There's a lot of sad faces
No,
here.
that's not.
I don't know what to think of this. And in wrapping up, like I said, we usually like to give a word of encouragement or a coach tip of sorts. But given it's a new year, right? Everybody's kind of doing something new or have resolutions or whatever the case may be. What would be something, Brian, for you, for those that may be out there, no matter where they're at? What would be one of your, I guess, closing tips for the day, regardless of what it relates to? Uh-oh.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's running real slow, I think.
Hopefully,
There you go.
my connection is working. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. No, you know what? My very first new year is time to unplug from all of the noise going on in the news and go for a walk. Just step outside and feel the air on your face, the breeze on your face. Just unplug from all the negativity that you can and take a break from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Amy, what would be your thoughts?
Sing. No, and no, it also.
I think you almost pulled a muscle. You were so ready to pull that mic up.
No, but I want to be serious. But I would say Brian is absolutely right. There's so much going on in the world, in our lives, and just with everything, that just being present, and just kind of laughing. Do what makes you laugh, do what makes you happy, and just be present and enjoy the moment, because um, there's a lot going on in the world today, and it's very easy to get caught up in that negativity, and it's very easy to find that negativity in all areas of our life, I think. And so trying to make a conscious effort, something that I like to do with my kids is I say, every day try to do three things. Do something for yourself, do something for your community, and do something for somebody else. And even if that's just, a nice comment like, Mom, you can sing. That's it. I mean, just be nice. You know what I mean? I mean, just say, even if it's, so my kids do it. And so I'll ask them, going back to the accountability piece, um, I'll ask them, so what did you do today? Something nice. And they'll say, well, I told my teacher that her hair looked pretty. But I think it gets you in the mindset of more positivity, because did somebody ask for me to sing?
Capri said you pulled her muscle of how quickly you pulled that microphone up.
And so, like, even, I have been kind of feeling under the weather and stuff. So even coming on and doing this, it's fun, and it's light, and it's just, being present with each other and the community and one another. And so that would be my advice, is just, sing.
Yeah. Well, it's like I can almost time it. I know exactly what's coming because she literally positions herself, and then it's like
she's got the profile going on. Too.
Exactly. That's when you know it's coming too. It's she does the cant to the left, and it's strategic.
Yes.
See that?
Actually, Lisa, do you think Lisa? Can I ask Lisa if she
She
would be okay
sees you.
with my new profile picture?
Like some people have different profiles. Like I'm playing around with mines. Amy's gonna have just kind of like the, but you have to do like the action pose though.
Can we
Give us.
ask Lisa?
Actually, so let's see here. We could do this right now. I'm gonna move your name down just a little bit.
And just
and
put it right there.
right. So now, just like get your best still, because then you can screenshot this, and boom, there's your picture. So the
Yes.
question now is, what exactly is
Girls, my
the action?
For those, yes, go ahead. Take a picture.
That's what kind of action pose is that? Are you singing or are you like interviewing someone? I thought you were doing like an action pose of like breaking events, or are you just still singing?
No, singing.
Oh, so you're hitting like the whole like the rocket. What's the rocket's cooking?
Yes,
This should have never given you a mic.
Oh man,
You did these girls. Look what your mom. Look what you have your mom doing here. This is. You couldn't just take the mic with y'all. Next time you guys go for the weekend, take the mics with y'all.
hey, that's a great
Well,
activity for
now,
sleepovers, right? Karaoke. Take the karaoke mics with you.
Oh, well, hold on, we messed up. So again, you gotta hit the pose so that when you screenshot this, you have the image. Oh wait a minute, get rid of that. That's like hitting the high note there. That almost looks pretty believable.
DP.
I'm just saying, like you.
Sing. I can't.
I'm not. I believe in you.
That is not an amateur pose.
I know. I believe in you and the things that you believe that you can do.
Thank you.
I believe in your belief of yourself.
Yes. Thank you. You know what? It doesn't matter, because all you have to do is believe in yourself. That's all. You just have to. Nobody else has to believe in you. You just have to believe in yourself.
Oh no!
Yes.
So Amy, we got some support saying, hey, switch it to another pose because that pose can be messed up. People might. So take another one. Hey, look, they're trying to help you. So like. Oh Lord.
Oh no.
Capri says she's gonna need a sling for her arm after holding. Amy's going to need a sling for her arm after holding up that mic all night. Jeez. You can't get a. You can't claim this. You can't claim that. What? You can't. Yeah, you can get 20% for that pulled arm, so that might be a claim potentially. Apparently there. Jeez Louise. One closing comment that came was don't run with that juice running down your leg. So there's, I guess, some advice for the crowd that came in as well. Man, that is, oh man.
Yep. Look at your phone, DP. Your messages.
All right, let's see which is coming here. Yep. Man, I tell you, it's professional.
I have
Yeah, I'll tell you.
supporters. I have
You
supporters.
do have supporters.
Yes.
Let me go over to our text community. We have grown in our FNL by a few, and we have some smiley faces. Kenneth Reese hashtag FNL happy face for sing yes. So yeah, the comments are definitely coming in. So support is support.
Amazing.
But no, but I think, but it's a good point though, as far as before you give the shout out to the fact of just keep it light and just it's perspective, right? The glass could be half full, half empty, and that's really the reality of things, right? You can choose right now to either laugh at a thing or not take yourself too serious, or to turn around and just look at the negativity. You'll find what you're looking for, sadly, and that's a true statement on both extremes. You was gonna give a shout out to somebody?
Yes. To our AAs. They're amazing. Thank you for your support.
Yes.
They actually do want me to sing. I'm getting a couple messages. So, Carol, Carol definitely does. I'm sure. Yep, Yellen does. So,
Yellen, what are you doing to her?
Yes,
Okay.
Yellen. Yes, Yellen. And but no, in all seriousness, they're amazing. They're a huge part of what we do, and we couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for them. So, thank you to all of our AAs, especially mine, Carol, and KB. I wanted to say earlier was on here, so shout out to KB. She just had a baby, so that's amazing. Thank you for coming out to support us. So yes.
Yeah, we have our staff. We have virtual assistants. Some of them are all over far and wide. So being able to have a team all across the country and international, it's amazing. So congrats to KB and one of our newest little champions, who has graced the world recently. Yes.
Yes.
A question that came up was, is there a number to vote for Amy? Yes, there is. It's scrolling on top. 202-217-1228. I think so, I'm putting no emojis to this. I'm on the fence with this whole thing, so they're filling it out. We have to have tryouts. They're anonymous for a reason. We don't discriminate here.
No pressure.
No pressure whatsoever.
Yes.
But but yeah, shout out definitely to the support staff that we have that enable us to do things. A huge shout out to Mama Bear Lisa in the comments. You see her literally commenting. She's literally on Facebook right now. She is on YouTube right now. When LinkedIn gives us a green light, she'll be there. We need to get her like a command station. Literally, she's all over the place. Supporting us
every
everywhere.
day, all day.
So, a big shout out to Lisa behind the scenes with supporting. She's my special project manager. So helping us put together, concepts, ideas, things like this. Sound Off tomorrow, for example. The lives that we do, the panels, and putting all these things together. So huge shout out to you, Lisa, for what you do. Hiding behind the scenes, but always enabling us to do what we do. Facts, hashtag Lisa is the best. There it is. Hashtag Lisa. So, that's definitely something that has to be highlighted for sure. And she says, thank you guys. Anonymously.
But she didn't say if my profile picture could be changed. That's weird.
It's the tinnitus. It's the tinnitus. It's selective hearing loss sometimes. Lisa has moments where sometimes the hearing goes, and this is one of them. So we need to just protect her ears.
That could be a live. We should bring Lisa on. Why haven't we brought Lisa on yet? How
You
come
know
we have
what?
not
I'm
brought Lisa
not.
on
That is
yet?
for you. I'm gonna leave you and Lisa alone to that. You want trouble with Lisa? Lisa said, "Look, what part of look you bring you can out anytime, but that's for you to fit. You got to bring her on, not me." Capri said, "Thank you for the warm welcome to the chat." Yeah, definitely. And this is like I said. Again,
Yes.
you know, this is the reason where it's like it doesn't matter, right? There's again, regardless of who the viewers are in the live, the replays always kind of go off really in the live. Lisa has already chimed in. She said her job is behind the camera. So I think we know a fix. We just have to move the camera around. That's all, and then just have another
Around. Just
camera.
turn it.
Just
That's
turn
right.
it. That's
Flip.
it.
Just the
It's
flip
it's
of the
all it's
phone.
perspective. Like you're still behind the camera, but there's just another camera behind you now.
Behind you.
Ergo facto, we see you. So it's funny. I actually have one of my other cameras set up. I call it Legicam. So Legicam, I usually would point it towards Legend, but he is knocked out. Uh-oh. Oh, he's looking right now at me. I don't want no trouble. So, yikes. But yeah, where is he? Here, let me see. Let me see if I can get a quick
Legend.
Legend action here.
Was it just his
Okay.
birthday? Is that
Yeah,
what the
no.
birthday thing was?
Mhm.
Was just his birthday?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was his birthday in November. Mm-hmm.
He's
So
1 year old, right?
yep, just like that. So yeah, he is knocked out. Let me leave him alone.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, just like
Maybe
that.
we'll
2 years
watch
old.
the journey though.
Yo lab. Yo lab. So the question came out: is it golden? Um, but yeah, so I think those are some good points to definitely bring up. But again, in closing, I think that's really what this is all about, right? It's having some community, just building a space for ourselves. The only ask is really, bring someone, tag someone, make a point to try to support what we're trying to do because it's about awareness. And again, if we can change one person's evening life, that's really what it matters. That's really what the focus here is. So, paying it forward, creating a community for our people, understanding that there are going to be some tough subjects, but we can also kind of balance it just, with intentional, positivity. So that's really what it's about, right? If we're saying we want to put out positivity. Well, how do you do that? Well, you just come at this as you are. You know what I mean? You bring your microphone, you bring your one dancing foot. You know what I mean? You bring your service dog. See, look at that. It doesn't mean there's a beat. There's a microphone. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say for sure is where we're at with that. So in closing, thank you for being here. Kicking it off. We'll be back. We post this and announce this, so make sure you're following us so you see these. We schedule them out, a day out, just so it's kind of on your calendar and you see it. So if you see it pop up as we're going to go live, the reason I do that is because you can click on remind me or notify me so that it then notifies you, hey, we are live now. Because sometimes technical difficulties go, so we might say we're going live at 8, but maybe there's an issue, so we might go at 8:05. You know what I mean? We're not, hard on press like we have to go time. But if you click on the notify me button, you'll see when we have gone live. So, going forward, tag someone, we'll share it with them. Definitely give it a thumbs up and a like so we can go ahead and get more support and try to get more veterans to kind of join us and, fellowship and spend some time with us for sure. Yeah, we can. So, Capri, tomorrow, can we talk about service dogs at some point? Yeah, we can. So tomorrow we're going to talk about service dogs specifically, but on the Friday night live sessions, we can bring on and talk about whatever we choose to. So sometimes we'll bring on some, doctors and PAs and different individuals for different things. So we have the ability to do that, and that's something that we'll surely do as well. So definitely be on the lookout for that. If there are certain things you want us to tackle and talk about, we could do that. Like today, we've talked about different things. We went into the new laws. We kind of deep dived a little bit there. We may have Alexis come join us for the next one tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be more of a one-on-one, but just really making a point to just make it for us, right? It's not a community unless you're actually part of this. So that means we're listening to what you're asking for. We're inviting you to be a part of that. So tomorrow, this is happening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fridays, we do a little bit later because it's Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wherever you're watching us, right here as well. I'll put out the reminder after this show, so you'll see it pop up if you're following us. So those are the ways that we'll do that. Because the biggest thing we see too, right, is folks want to be there, and guess what happens? You time slips, you forget. But if you put the reminder on, it literally dings and says they're live, and then you can join us. So definitely click on the reminder on the YouTube channel. They have a bell you can click on, and it'll tell you when we're going live. So we do scheduled things, but sometimes we'll do impromptu things like we did the other day. If you go back and see the previous video where we talked about a mental health check-in in light of what's happening at the Capitol. So sometimes there's like random pop-ups that we'll do when things are happening. And then, schedule things like this. So if you're subscribed and you're following and you have notifications on, you'll see us both scheduled and impromptu as we do things. So with that being said and done, that's really, let me see, Pacific time is 3 hour difference. Yes, it is. So Eastern Standard Time, so 3 hours back. So, an hour Central is hour back, and then Pacific and Mountain and so on. So let's see. So with that being said and done, that's really it. Check on your strong friends is what I would say. Look out for each other. It's the beginning of the year. There's a lot happening right now. It's a very tumultuous political environment that we're living in, regardless of where you sit on the aisle. The reality is that it's a tough time across the board. But above all things, right? We are who we are, right? We are our brother's keepers, our sister's keepers, and that's what we want to do. We want to honor that. We want to be able to support each other. We want to build our legacy, our community, and we need our elders to be here because if we don't understand or know where we came from, we will sadly lose our way moving forward. And I think that's really where we need to have our elders in our community to help us and support us as we move forward and be able to get to a point of understanding that as I am able to have them pour into my life, I in turn can pour into somebody else's life. And that's how all this works. So when you hear something that we say or something that I say, as profound as it may sound, make no mistake about it, somebody poured that knowledge, that information into me, that energy into me, and in turn it's my duty to be able to pass it forward. And that's why we're doing these things the way we're doing these things. So a little bit different, a little bit our way, and that's kind of what we do.
And I would just add, we want the elders here also so that we can respect you and show honor to you. So we appreciate all the service and knowledge that you hand down and sacrifices that you've made. That's made it possible for us.
Yeah. So we'll kind of go out. Again, give us some comments, some thumbs up here. We'll go on mute and bring up some of the comments that we've had throughout the night and light up the screen because technology is fun. And in the middle of that, I'll see if I can get Legend on the camera while he's not looking. Where are we? So let's bring up our specific one for Brian.
Just another day in Southern California. It's where the people came to play. Don't let them transform you. Come and see what you've been missing on a little slice of heaven. It's the only place we're living. It's that West Coast point of view. Easy when it's always summertime for you and I. Every attitude. Who cares what the people think? It's been turning kinda gray in Southern California.